Welcome back to O-The Humanities, which has become 10 O-The Humanities with a pun by this man who is...
Hi, I'm Paddy. Hi. That was my pun. I'm pretty proud of that pun. I don't often do a good pun, so I'm quite happy with that one.
That was over-egging. Anyway, this is our third Warframe show. We are still knee-deep in it, dead excited about it, really addicted to it, and considering I had to talk that man who is...
I'm Paddy. Hi, I'm Paddy. I did the pun earlier.
Back into playing the game in the first place. It's kind of cool how it's just been all-consuming, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you said knee-deep earlier. I'd say neck-deep is probably more accurate.
I'd tell you what needs to be accurate. Who am I?
I don't know. Who are you? Are you CJ?
No, I'm Coffee Jesus. And today...
Is that your full name?
Use my full name, bitch. Coffee Jesus, King of the Rhinos.
I mean, well, we'll get there, won't we?
We will. We'll get there straight away. I'm going to have a wee bit of a backtrack because we had kind of a cool little reminder of an anniversary last week.
Oh, shit, we did, yeah.
Which, since we're not doing the Dark Souls stuff at the minute because there's nothing really to say, you had one of those, was it like a time hop thing? Or?
Yeah, Facebook's got this on this day built into it now. You haven't got to have an app, which is why I never installed time hop, because I'm not giving an app access to everything I've ever done. But yeah, Facebook's got the on this day thing, so you just click it and see all the stuff you did this time last year. And I think it was like was it Tuesday maybe? I hopped on just checking it at like 11:30 at night and clicked on it, and it would appear that 5 years ago was the very first time we ever did our co-op in Demon's Souls, which was when we did it with no voice chat. It was on level 4-1, I believe, with the skeletons.
Well, that's my favourite level in Demon's Souls.
And lots of pointing and gesturing to get things done.
But it worked. We kind of got there. It took us a while to kind of find each other. And but, you know, I'd been going on about that for ages. But that was our first sort of co-op stuff. And obviously that was the... one of the starting points of us starting Twin Humanities anyway. But also,
would you say it was like a first date?
It kind of was, yeah. One where we didn't have any conversation, but just noticed what the other was wearing and where we were supposed to go.
Just sort of caught eyes across a crowded.
There is the cinema. There is the coffee shop.
Well, I mean, here's the thing.
Buy me a popcorn.
Well, I mean, if I have to go with, if we're calling it a date, then I mean, with Laura, I mean, on the 5-year anniversary of our date, I did propose on that anniversary. So, I mean, I know it's a bit sudden.
Wow.
But I'm going to get down on my podcast knee. Hang on.
Thanks.
I'm on my podcast knee. Can you hear it?
The answer's no.
The question was, do you not want to marry me? Oh! Smacked you down.
Scouted. Yeah. But it's been kind of cool, not just how Warframes sort of invigorated us individually and within the podcast, but just the amazing conversations that we're having with people around us. And I mean, I know with Dark Souls, part of it was figuring out what was happening and then watching videos and having like little conversations. That initial stuff was way before we started talking. And it's kind of cool now to have like a huge group of people around us, some of which are enthusiasts and experts about it, others that have come on board with the game with us, a few people that have returned to it, and we're all sharing stuff, we're all figuring stuff out, and it just makes it the best experience. Because I mean, one of the reasons that we've struggled to get an episode out is because my work's gone crazy and I've been doing dash shifts and getting up at silly hours and stuff. But I know when I've been fatigued at work or I'm tired or stuff's getting to me, I can go on a break, and there's been points where I've opened up Twitter and I've just seen people going like, oh, I got this, and oh, I can't figure this out, and oh, you need to do this, and it's just proper perked me up. And even in those moments where, you know, I've got home, I've had a bit of something to eat, I'm not too tired for Warframe. I can at least run the odd mission and stuff, and it still feels like I'm relaxing into it. Or, you know, us just jumping on together and sort of catching up on the day, but
having a bollock about for an hour.
Yeah, you showing me stuff, and me sort of saying the bits and bobs that I've gotten together, and then expanding that worldview with what other people have been doing and figuring out. And so we've been really excited to do this, but we've not really been able to do it. So
it's been fun because the way that Warframe is constructed, where it's quite a large game. There's a lot to it. And it seems like there's numerous stages you go through with it. So when you start to where we are now, to the next level past the bit that we're getting to now, to where people talking about, someone mentioned, I believe it was corrupted mods earlier. I was like, what's that?
Yeah,
what's a corrupted mod? Like, it's a whole other step above like where we are, and that's brilliant because like there's people at all levels all kind of jumping in together and helping and sort of stringing along those of us that aren't quite sure what we're doing. Again, a big shout out can't be given big enough to good frame boy Michael Preen right here, because every single question I've seen anyone on my Twitter feed ask, he's on them.
I think there's the nice thing though is that we're not talking people out of the game either, because it's easy for someone to be enjoying what's going on, but to feel intimidated by the levels that are above them and the layers that are above them. And I know I'm only I started playing end of July, I think, and you can hear that the doofuses upstairs have set off their alarm. Well played.
Is that the CJ started playing at the end of July alarm?
It doesn't.
You did. It went off again.
Yeah. So yeah, I've been playing for like sort of 3 or so months now, and I still wouldn't say I've even vaguely got the measure of the game at all.
Yeah, because there are like we say, there's kind of levels to it. Like, for example, when I started with it, with the mods and stuff, I wasn't quite sure what I was doing, and I just picked the ones that made like damage and health and shields better. And as I'm kind of picking up new frames now and trying out different things and almost trying out builds now, I've got the resources to try builds out. And you think, right, well, I want to focus on making that power better, so I don't worry about that one and put that mod on. And do I really need a shield mod on this guy because he's so strong? No, I probably don't. And more sort of switching and choosing. And it's like this sort of, as you learn about how everything interconnects and works together, more options become available. And you could just stick with, again, just using mods here as the metaphor, you could just stick with, more health, more shield, more armour, more gun damage, please. Or you could start mucking around with, heat damage and power duration and efficiency and max power ratings and all sorts of elemental effects and things and channeling damage.
Both of those are valid, which I like.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're a gun person that doesn't want any of the other stuff. You remember when I started playing, I just didn't really lean into those sort of things at all.
It didn't take me a week of yelling at you to just use your powers. R1, press R1 and you wouldn't do it.
I was so in love with the feel of like the bow and like of chopping people up and all that kind of stuff, of running around. That was my primary thing. I think it was the first point where it really came into play was might have been when I got Frost. And then I heard your voice nagging at the back of my head to like still try stuff, and got into Excalibur's sort of blade sort of weapon choppy thing.
Is it Exalted Blade or something like that?
Exalted Blade, yeah. And the point where I learned to Levolt like further down the line on PS4 was the point where I really smashed into to the abilities. So that was. I was happy with the choppy stuff that I was doing, but that was a time bomb that just went off for miles at a certain point. And the kind of cool thing is today I was doing a match, and I think there was a Volt Prime on the team.
Okay.
And oh my god, that was nice. That was one of those where it's like everything that I've known but sweeter. It's like oh, that's my girlfriend, but it's that picture. That one that's been going on the net of the. When they walk by.
It's like, this is my Warframe. This is the Warframe she tells you not to worry about.
But it has been cool just to see people's reactions and people coming on board and not really knowing what they were getting into. and in a world where everything where everything is like super hyped, to have something that folks are sort of approaching and just really having no expectations of, and then those layers of secrets on top of a game that's just stupendously playable from the start.
Because, I mean, they've been building this thing for like 4 years, haven't they? Like, it's not just they built it, chucked it out there and wait for the groundswell. Like, this thing's been improving and growing over the last 4 years. I mean, but we've covered this before. It is a world apart from when I first played it, when to activate certain powers, you had to swipe up on the goddamn touchpad. That is just the least user-friendly thing I think I've ever done in a video game. It goes back further than that. I mean, on that on the Dark Insight episode I was on with Michael and Josh and Jeremy, I think Michael said something about the history of kind of digital extremes, and I look back in the Wikipedia, and it seems like they wanted to do something like this with Dark Sector, but couldn't do it. Just didn't have the technology to do it, or maybe they were precious to kind of do something a bit more grim and gritty and realistic. But yeah, they've been building outwards since Dark Sector, and I have seen the criticism from someone that we know and love, that it's a cash-in on Destiny. And a cheap cash-in on Destiny, and the original version of the game came out before Destas, but it's been there's been stuff building seemingly since Dark Sector, and if you go back before that, when Digital Extremes finished on something like Unreal Tournament, I think it was. Interesting.
Yeah, and they wanted to do something different after that. So it's been a long climb, even to the point of before they released the initial version, but the iterative nature of the game and just seeing, like, it feels like a series of novels, and that's what I love. That it's just, let's do this, let's try this, or try and make a novel that's better than the last one, or now to write a little bit better now, or I want to try this, and those contain flaws, and you can certainly see where the team have been and stuff. But that sort of voluptuous ambition is delicious to me, because there's stuff that just plain comes off, and I can forgive anything that misfires for all the stuff that is just making me grin, or has just brought so many of us together as well. This last month and a bit since we've been doing covering Warframe.
Yeah, I can only I literally just agree with all of my face on that.
And now I bring up a little consternation. Like, when I was looking at the Warframes, you know where I'm going here.
I think I know where I'm going, and I'm gonna have my own counterpoint, but you go first, by all means. I'm ready.
When I was looking at the Warframes initially, and you'd be playing the game, and you'd go, I have no idea what you are. I have no idea what you're doing. I don't even know quite what you look like, because you've run past me so quickly and laid down some sort of red carpet of twists.
I did do that. Yeah, I remember.
But I remember kind of looking at Rhino and just going, I think I'm going to get on with that lad. He looks like a big, beefy Halo guy, and I remember saying to you exactly that, and looking at the Palatine skin in the store and just going, that is the most beautiful thing that I've ever seen in a game. I want to go to there, I will have it, I will have my Rhino, and then I will play as Rhino. So what did you go and get?
Well, because...
What did you go and get?
Well, I mean, my first two Warframes I got that weren't Loki, I bought with Platinum, because I just thought they seemed kind of fun. I talked about last time I picked up Atlas and Octavia, big old Atlas, who's good at punching stuff and has boys made of rock, which just gives me life. And Octavia, whose power is being a loud piece of shit. Which, again, it's like they're very polar. Like, they're not very similar things, but they both speak to my sensibilities quite a bit. And as I was playing, I kind of realised that bits of Warframes were dropping as I was playing, and I worked out that the Rhino frame was dropping from quite an early boss. I said, I can do this. I want to build this, because I hadn't built a frame yet. You talked about having to build... When did you build?
I built Sarin Prime on
Sarin Prime,
on
there
Xbox,
you go.
yeah.
So you talked about how you built one, and it was like, really good. And I was like, well, I've got 2 out of 3 bits here. Like, I might as well try and get the last bit and then build one because I wanted to build my first boy.
I know all
so
the
what
time
I did,
you were
so
going,
what I did
I'm
is
not going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you what's happening, but I'm building a frame. I'm not going to tell you which one. Oh, it's exciting, but I'm 3 days away. Oh, it's really exciting. I'll have to show you.
I tried to make it special. And okay, in my defence, I don't remember you saying I'll dibs. Anyway, we're going to get them all anyway. Like it matters. But like,
yeah,
I never remember you dibsing anything. Like I remember you saying the Palatine armor was cool, but you never dibs no shit.
As if I take that back.
I'm calling no ears heard that. No ears heard that. You may have said it, but my ears didn't hear it. So what I did is, so just so everyone listening is aware just how ungrateful CJ is right now, is I decided to set up a nice little reveal moment. So we started a mission, and I said, don't look at the screen, close your eyes, don't look at the screen. And we started, and he looked away, and I ran, and I jumped onto a high thing, because as we all know, when Rhino jumps off a high thing, he does a magnificent noise when he hits the ground, like an impact. And I thought, what better way to show off my new boy than with a special kind of reveal boosh. So I got you in position, and I got ready. I said, look, and I jumped, and I went boosh, and you just kind of went,
what? It's like if they did some sort of period drama where somebody said that they liked a girl to their best friend, and then they went off to war, and then they came back, and the friend knew all the time that they were coming back. It wasn't as if like, oh, I thought you died at the war, and then you came back, and I was shocked, and it's like, I've got this new wife.
No,
I'm going to reveal her by asking her to jump down the stairs.
It's her sister, who is identical in every way, but has a different hat on.
To be fair, you did colour it in the most disgustingly gaudy, atrocious way.
What did I start with? Because it's gone through many colours now.
Yeah, I'm sure you had like,
was it pink?
White, green, and brown.
It was white, green, and orange. I made him look like the cheapest action figure I possibly could, and it friggin' worked.
Didn't you do something else that, like, you veered away from your colour schemes? Because everything you did was orange, then I'm sure I was running with a red Warframe at that point, and all of a sudden you're in red.
Well, I like to mix.
It's like the film, listeners, single white female. It's like that.
Oh.
But with robots.
Well, I just tried mixing it up because I kind of changed my colours quite a lot now because it's fun. In fact, I spent an hour last night changing the colours on all of my Warframes just because that's what my life is now.
We do have different colour palettes now.
Yeah, I've got a few more now. Thanks Halloween event and some platinum spending I did earlier. But yeah, no, my Rhino currently now is mostly white with a very cool blue undertones. I've made what I have dubbed Spearmint Rhino.
Yes, I've seen the picture of that, but we shall go into the exact details of that later. But I managed to get my Rhino. I managed to get it sorted. I managed to get my Palatine colour scheme. I did have him decked out in kind of a yellowish gold and...
It's like a deep red, wasn't it?
Like a deep red at first.
And then deep blue, was it?
And then I got a 75% off discount in the store. Yeah.
Dutty coupon.
I know, I've never seen a Dutty coupon Dutty.
Oh.
And I bought the Tenno palette.
Okay, that's a lot of kind of, not muted, but there's a lot of different colours there, isn't there?
There's a lot of variations there, some bright, some sort of muted, but there's tons of it's almost like a Commodore 64
right.
like colour scheme, and that probably tied into it as well. But that gave me a few more bits to play about with, and then the Halloween, like the Day of the Dead colour scheme sort of came in, and that gave me some like really bright colours to put over the top of that. So it's now, if you see the Palatine skin in the store, which is magnificent anyway, mine's now kind of this really bright yellowish gold and like a really sort of fierce, almost pinkish red, and a Man City blue. And I've got the guns sort of tie into that as well. And I got a cape from the Twitch drops from Plains of Eidolon, which again is I've managed to sort of colour beautifully. And I have to say that I am in love with this Warframe. This is not. I kind of fell in love with Volt. I had lots of fun with Excalibur over on Xbox One, but I genuinely love Rhino, and I'm using more of the abilities with him as well. It's not just sort of waiting for the top ability to charge up. I use the Iron Skin a lot, which is just a fantastic ability, which more or less makes you invulnerable to a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it's like I'm going to coat my Rhino in an outer crusty shell, and all the sweet Rhino goodness inside will not be touched, which is really handy. Yours
looked like he was covered in sort of rock, but mine is just like this series of sparkles.
Yeah, yours seems to layer on your armour a little better, because the standard armour, it just seems to kind of, just like, literally gluing rock to yourself, which is fine. I mean, I'm okay with it. It looks great, but it does ruin your colour scheme, whereas yours kind of just sparkles it up.
He's got, there's a
Maybe your rocks are diamonds instead.
Yeah, like my heart, my pretty heart.
See, I like that, because my Rhino, I feel this. I don't know if I feel the same. I do love him. I don't think I love him the most. I think he's my best. He's my most. I was talking to Dave Sentient Plus on Twitter about this today. He's my most survivable frame. Like, I can put, if I need a mission where I need to like survive against things that are rough, like, he's the one I'll put on, slap on Iron Skin, stand in the middle, and swing a big sword.
He's a slow lad, but he's a hunker motherfucker. Is what he is.
Yeah. I generally, more often than not, I find I miss with the Rhino charge. Like that, I tend to just sail past people when I do that.
That's the one that I don't use, but like I say, Iron Skin I find really handy. If I'm in a big battle, maybe like defend the Warframe or something like that, and there's lots of blue dropping anyway. There's a roar ability that you can do which just buffs everybody in your party.
Everyone,
and that's a great one to not only just power up the people around you, but if you're surrounded by like blue squishies anyway, you can instantly top that up. But
it's a good boss helper as well.
Yeah, very much. But there's a stomp that Rhino does on the floor, which just sends enemies sort of careering up into the air and slows down time.
It stomps so hard that it ruptures space-time.
It looks great. I've got it in that sort of super fierce bright red, like I've got on my Warframe anyway.
Excellent.
So which looks just wonderful. Very Tron-like, that kind of red. Like the evil guys from the first Tron. But the noise it makes when it kicks in is just great. And there's no point where I've ever been bored with it, and I'm just looking at the Rhino when I start a level, and I'm just thinking, like, every time, like, you look fit, mans.
So you found your skin. I mean, I found that helmet. I like the Thrak helmet, which has basically got a giant ramming bar at the front. It's the only thing I can see him wearing now. All the other ones look rubbish compared to it. Like, it's the first helmet I found for him, and it is just, it's good. It's really good, and he's the one that I default to as my, like, I'm going to use you all the time frame.
So talk about your fashion frame.
We're at risk of becoming a Rhino fan cast.
No, because you see this.
Welcome back to Getting the Horn.
I'm going somewhere. He does have a massive package.
So with my fashion frame, I like to tick a nice helmet if I've got one. I as we've discussed before, when the alert missions come up, if anything's got a helmet blueprint, everything gets dropped and that gets done. Because, God, I just need options for helmets. I mean, you're the same, right? Like, helmet mission
absolutely.
Comes up,
like, doing something as what's that? It's a hat, really?
Ooh,
a hat? I don't really have the right outfit for that, but
free hat.
Put it in the cupboard.
Free hat.
Yeah, it is.
So yeah, generally with my Rhino, with the fashion frame I have, I picked up a colour palette with a 50% off coupon, I believe it was. I picked up the saturated standard one because I like my colours a bit more vibrant. I like to look like a disgusting action figure, and I think I've achieved that.
Yeah, I think you pulled that
5 separate Warframes
really well.
now, with different colour schemes. I used to stick with the orange and white as a preference. The Sony Ericsson W810.
You copied your old phone.
Yeah, my old phone.
Years ago, the one you reluctantly gave up.
I loved that phone.
Yeah.
That phone was amazing. That was just exactly what I needed. It had bubble on it, and it was just good enough to be okay. But yeah, I've gone with those colour schemes because I loved it to pieces. And I've kind of mixed it around a bit now. But generally with Rhino now, I keep him white with a colour highlight because it just looks it looks crisp. and I always try and keep his power colours quite bright as well, because when you're sort of slapping down your raw or your stomp and it's like a bright white blue, like it's very tasty, It's very tasty.
The colours of your energy are important, really important.
It helps sell like your powers, like it attaches them to you, because I hit the random button a few times, and I used let's go to this now. I was using Oberon a while ago, and I kind of just hit the random button till I found colours I liked, and I didn't really pay attention to the energy colour. So he was coloured in kind of white and blue, and I think pink at the time. It was like white, blue, pink mix. And I fired off his powers, and his like standard like floor covering power was like a dark red grass. I'm like, the fuck have I done here? This doesn't look like mine. Did I do that? So yeah, colour, like I think like energy colour is really important to pay attention to, because when there's 4 of you and shit's cracking off, I think it's helpful to know what you did.
Very much, yeah.
Yeah. Or same with Octavia. I've gone back and recoloured her since, and she's now black and vivid green. And
so did you do that the CJ way by going into your palette and sort of meticulously picking each colour and going through and going, maybe I'd like to share, or did you go like random? Yeah, that's all right.
On the Octavia and on the Rhino, I've hit random a few times, but generally I'll go through and pick bit by bit, because I need to layer the colours up nicely so it blends nice. Otherwise, you get a weird bounce. But with a couple of them, like Oberon and Loki, I recoloured those the other day, and then I just hit random once. It's like, oh, that's pretty good, and then just a couple of little tweaks of the colours, and it's done. Like that random button can give you, if you're struggling for a unique look, smash random once and just see what you get, and it really helps like give you an identity for all your Warframes, because like the standard colours are fine, but who wants to run around in brown and black and dark colours? No, you want to look like a god. This is Space Ninjas. You want to be an action figure.
I do have, obviously I'm kind of love coffee, so I do actually have a brown Warframe now.
But but your Rhino is gilded, like it's gilded brown.
No, I don't. No, it's not the Rhino. It's the Vault that I had that was in that. He was originally yellow and red, and then
which looked good.
I got that. I got this skin where I kind of coloured in with a little bit of blue and red and white, and then I sort of changed that to like a really sort of coffee coloured brown with the white, like coffee and cream made. And then like a few other colours, and it looked really good again. But it's a way to, it's a nice as a little helpful tip at home, why not freshen up an old Warframe with a new coat of paint? But yeah, what this kind of led us to was we had 2 boys in big suits of armour and a few ideas. So essentially what we did was frame souls.
Yeah.
So we got we made the decision that we were going to go into battle with no guns.
Absolutely.
And which meant that bows were on the cars, crossbows, anything like that. I got fist weapons on my Vault, but they looked a little bit sort of 1960s mad scientist, and weren't sort of quite what I was looking for. But I saw in a tactical potato video, there was he was actually talking up the Akenbrunt, which is a sword and an axe.
Do you mean a shield and an axe?
Shield and axe, yeah. Sorry, my frazzled brain.
Everything is a sword.
And I thought, yeah, I'm gonna get that. And I had like a crazy money off token for the store, so I was like, oh great. And I was so tired, I clicked past the money off option and bought it outright.
Jesus.
Which just like, and then I told you, and rather than you going like, oh man, you just went like, that's about £8.
Yeah. God, I did the maths quickly and like...
You did.
You spent £8 on a shield.
But it is magnificent. It's absolutely magnificent, the Akenbrunt.
It's it's quite Grineer-y, isn't it? In that it's kind of like chunky, techno-y blue colour. Initially anyway, isn't it? Is that right?
Yeah, initially, but if you alter the palettes, a lot of the time what it does, or you alter like some of the contrast stuff on it, it just makes it look more drawn and more comic book. So it goes almost a bit cell shaded and a bit Borderlands. and that looked even better as it went on.
Yeah.
But you can go along, you're like parrying people with like the sword when somebody's down on the ground. You grab both sides. Sorry, you're parrying people with the shield, and then when people are down on the ground, you grab both sides of the shield, and it'll like slam it into their middle.
Nice.
Like the axe is vicious anyway. But the shield itself is a gauntlet on the left side, which then kind of clicks out into like the big shield. So there's like a centerpiece that's the gauntlet, and then a bit that goes down and a bit that goes up. But also the axe folds up underneath the other side of the gauntlet. So when he's not using it, he just looks like he's got this big ass like metal arm,
like a
on
Hellboy
one side.
Arm.
Yeah, and then it just goes like drops up, drops out, and then he pulls the axe out the other side of it. And it's beautiful. But you, sir, sorted out your frame souls in a big way.
Yeah,
Talk to me about your pal,
the
gal.
big gal.
Yeah,
the big gal. Yeah. So I was dicking around in the weapons tab on the armory. And I've looked at it because I like, to be honest, I play this game. I don't use the guns a lot. I like to just hit things with a stick or a fist or a weapon. I'm enjoying.
It's kind of gone there, hasn't it?
I'm enjoying the melee
even
stuff.
before we had this idea of like the frame soul stuff.
Oh, I was
it's kind of veered towards that. Like, I resent bringing out guns. At this point
I like that it's viable.
Cameras.
Like when I see a camera or one of the door sensors, you've got to shoot. You're like, oh, piece of shit. I suppose I better get out my gun now, and bang, and then I just wasted a bullet. Could have punched that. So I was looking around, and since my mastery, I'm up at level 5 or 6 mastery now, but I think at the time I was about 3, which was just enough, I think, to unlock the first big sword, which is Galatine, which is, I mean, I don't know how else to call it. It's a really, really big sword. Like it's got a touch of the He-Man about the hilt, like with the sort of the rounded hilt.
It's to play towards our audience. It's a Zweihander.
It is. And what I did is once I started leveling up, I modded it so it had quite a bit of fire damage. So I made a Chaos Zweihander. We made Giant Dad. I made a Giant Dad by accident. And I made sure that I coloured him in the same colour as my armour. I always colour my weapons the same colour as my armour, because you have to make that action figure set look. The shitty Batman, here's a giant weapon on a small man action figures, which just give me life. So I think, again, it was when we played together, I think I was Spearman at the time, wasn't I? So the sword is white and bright blue with a glowing blue kind of trail going behind it. I think I modded it with cold damage that time as well, so it would be even frostier. And yeah, the Galatine is one of my favourite weapons in the game by miles. It's for starters, it's really, really strong. It's not the quickest, but you can mod it up with a Fury mod to kind of make it a bit faster. It's got a wonderful sweep, so you can hit about 5 people at once with it. I think 5 is the limit what you can hit, so you can just swing it in these big, broad arcs and just properly batter things to pieces. And I found a stance card for it as well, which I plugged in, which basically, when you equip the weapon and in like melee mode, when you have it equipped as your only weapon, if you start mashing the circle button while holding forwards, he will swing the sword a few times and then take it behind his head and just start doing some lovely overhead chops. So bang, 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 and then the last chop is a big leaping hurrah overhead chop, which just decimates anything.
It's really balletic to watch, but it's also really weighty. And let's not forget how lovely it sounds.
It's like, it's such a pure noise.
It feels like it's been well cast in the fires. It just feels like lithe and beautiful, and it's got lots of sort of weighty, sort of swishy noises, but also it sounds like it's like a thing, like a, I don't know. It's really weird. You have to get it. It's got a kind of
like a swing flam.
I will say as well that if you can't build it, and they are phasing this out soon, it is part of the PlayStation Obsidian Azura collection. Now, considering that I'm going to use UK money here, but I think 370 plat is £15 here. For $19.99, you get the Excalibur Obsidian Azura skin. So it's like this sort of swishy, swimmy, beautiful skin that goes over it. the Obsidian Azura Sindana, Galatine and Galatine Obsidian skin, 3-day affinity and credit boost. There's 50,000 credits and 300 plat.
Interesting.
So if somebody does fancy it, it's not really that much more than
just getting a bit of plat.
Yeah, and a little less plat. Yes, but you're also getting an Excalibur skin, Sindana, Galatine, and the Galatine skin.
The Galatine is, if I remember rightly, relatively cheap to find the bits for and buy the blueprint for as well, which is what I did.
Skin is beautiful though.
Yeah. But you can, like I said, I've been colouring it in various different colours and it looks good in everything. It's a really fucking big sword. It's bigger than my guide.
It's huge.
But
it's not difficult to play Frame Souls. And whereas we were going through in the last podcast, and I'd basically turned the game into Streets of Rage, and I was just beating stuff up with fist weapons.
Yeah.
And, to now be absolutely obsessed with shield and axe is insane, and I genuinely am. I've got a fantastic gun now, and I'm just not arsed with using it because there's something so delicious about seeing a horde of creatures come towards you, particularly with Rhino, and just going iron skin, because he does a before he does it, which is great. And then just piling into motherfuckers you're a metal hurlant cover or something.
I've activated poise. Come get some.
That's exactly what it is. And Rhino might be a slow boy, not as fast as the other Warframes for certain. But I think the sacrifices that boy makes for speed more than makes up for in useful powers. And like I say, my fashion frame is bob on.
Yeah, every one of his powers has a point. Every one of his powers has a use, and there's not the one that you just ignore because no one uses that power. It's crap. Every single one of his powers has a good use to it, and when you power up with the iron skin, which is pretty much exclusively the only one I use because I find it so good. I've kind of modded for it to make that as good as possible because it's basically live forever. The power, okay, more of that, please. So I power that up, and I was doing what's the mission where you've got the points to capture? Interception, where you've got to hold the points. And it was in the Orokin Void, which is the cool one, the very prime looking area with all the silver and the white and the white and the gold. Sorry, the white and the gold. And it was an infestation one, so they were just piling in from all sides. And I stood there on point D and held that point for about 3 minutes just by myself, swinging this sword back and forth. And the enemies were flooding in faster than I'd ever seen them flood, and I was just stood in the middle going swing, 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 chop, 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 chop.
But do you know what the great part about that is? As mofos fall, they drop blue squishy.
Yep.
And the more blue squishy they drop, stomp, and they boom, and they all leap up in the air and then frazzle to pieces. That's just, it's almost like somebody's just going I can see, you're really enjoying that cake, and there's a cherry on the top.
Have another cake as well, okay? But yeah, no, I've found that since I've been switched to, I find it, to give you some ideas of some numbers, I was looking at this earlier, primary weapons, I have 2. Secondary weapons, I have 3, but only because I'm saving one to turn into something else. Melee weapons, I have, I believe, 5. With a 6th on the way.
I think I know what you're going to go with for the 6th, but we're going to talk about that when we get into space stations.
Well, can I talk about weapons quickly? Because I've been trying some things out. Let's go weapons. Okay, so I really like my melee weapons. I like my melee weapons. So I've mainly focused on those, but I have picked up a couple of guns as well, which I'll touch on quickly. I made my first prime. I made Paris Prime, the bow, and what do you think? It's beautiful. I kind of like it, but I'm not really in the bow mindset because, like I say, we don't use the guns that much, so I'm kind of getting it a little bit difficult to adapt. But when I nail a good hit with it, it's I see why this is good. Motherfucker, get pinged. Straight away, thwack, and goodbye, you're gone now. And it's still quite low level realistically, so I can't take it to big boy town. But I'm kind of keeping it equipped while I'm doing melee missions, so it's kind of gaining affinity just by being there and trying to use it every now and again. But I kind of like it, but I am holding out for another prime weapon that's more to my flavour. Do they make a Boltor Prime? They probably don't, do they?
They do.
Oh shit!
I will interject on the bow front because I got the Paris Prime as well, and just find it. I love the design of it, but I find it really unsatisfying to use, both sonically, and it doesn't really give me
the noise it makes is the most important part.
It adds to it. I mean, we've spoken before about the Boltor is the fact that it sounds like somebody firing up an old lawnmower in a shed 3 doors down in the best way. And it was just like this. Paris Prime was like a flip, flip, flip. Whereas on the Xbox One run, Stalker dropped a dread bow, which decapitates people.
Oh.
And the thing looks nicer, and when it's powered up, it's far, far better to use. And having used that bow and then going, oh look, it's a prime bow. This is the first prime bow I'm using. The dread bow is far, far better.
Interesting. Interesting. So that was cool. I've experimented with a couple of sidearms as well. Like, I've actually used my Furus submachine gun now, which is fine. It's the submachine gun, isn't it? But from a blueprint I got for progressing the campaign a little bit, when I progressed to another planet, I have a Gamma Core now. And a Gamma Core is a wrist-mounted goddamn laser.
Oh, God, this is nice.
It's really, really nice. And I've modded it for heat damage as well, so it's like a hot laser. And the reload animation it's basically, this thing is 3 sort of teardrop-shaped sections that kind of clump around your wrist, and you shoot it, and they kind of spread out from your wrist. They hover away, and the 3 bits kind of fire lasers into a point which shoots forward. And when you reload it, all 3 points kind of float upwards off your hand. You kind of hold your fist up, kind of point it at the sky. All 3 bits fly up in the sky, and then kind of lock back in one after the other. It's very satisfying reload.
I'm sure the Volt Prime that was in a game I was in earlier was using it seemed like a version of that, but a shotgun.
Ooh.
And it was just that sort of thing. Like, when I saw you using it as well, it looked like, when you were young and you like ran around in the playground and you played you were like shooting people with lasers that were like built onto your arms and stuff like that.
Yep.
It feels like that.
It's a Buzz Lightyear laser. It's Buzz Lightyear.
Again, the animation and the nuance and the sheer passion that's put into like the smallest stuff still comes off on that, and that finds its way into the conversation, which is something that we're really enjoying.
So, shall I tell you about the other stuff I've built now?
Yes, please.
So I've tried out. I have 3 more weapons I'd like to talk about before we move on. I've made myself a Lecter. A Lecter is an electric taser whip.
Oh, right.
So basically, take a taser, put a bit of string on the end, and fling it around.
How is it?
It's okay. I don't think I like it more than my Galatine, but that's not exactly going to be a bar that many weapons are going to hit.
What would you do to kind of get it up to scratch? Is there anything that you could kind of put into like elementals that would make that whip like super, like, faster?
Well, its base damage is electricity, which I've kind of tried to focus on for improvement. So I've been putting electric mods on. Obviously, the serration or pressure point's melee. Pressure point is the most important mod by far. Like, everything, just you need it to survive. And I've tried to put on more electric boosts as well as that to make it good. And I've tried to put the Fury on it, but I've not got it leveled up too much yet. So once I've got a Fury mod on it, that will speed it up to about 30%. I think it costs about 9 points to put that on. So I will be putting the Lecter up to quickly. But it's quite quick already. I think when I've got it up to speed, it's going to be great. But at the minute, it's still just a little bit weedy. But then everything is compared to the Galatine. So I can't really use that as a bar for entry, because nothing will ever be as good as the Galatine. So that's kind of fun. I've enjoyed using that. I've also made myself a weapon I'm not sure about yet, but are very fun to use. After a lot of work and levelling up 2 separate weapons so I could turn them into this, I've made myself a pair of Ripkas.
Oh yes, I saw you using these, and you look like some sort of crazy G.I. Joe action figure.
Goddamn chainsaw hands Wolverine is what I became. That's it. I was going to try and explain what they are. That's it. Chainsaw hands Wolverine.
You've inadvertently found that out.
It's perfect. And the sound design is what sells them, because there's just a delicious every time you swing. You can hear them rev up as you fly. Oh, it's so good. Like, it's so very good. And like dashing across the map with both of them in front of you going, "Meow," like from a jump attack is quite satisfying.
But I've mentioned before about like really being taken by the passionate digital extremes, but you get the feeling that the sound department is just the most talented sound department in games, because they're bringing out like sonic sort of beauty that just makes everything better to use and doesn't get old. And you get the feeling that they're really, I mean, to have as many weapons as there are and them all to sound different, it's crazy. You could pick out, once you've used weapons, you could pick out what they are just purely by listening to them.
I heard a Boltor the other day. It's like, that's a Boltor over there, and I went over.
The Boltor's beautiful,
and it was like, and I can hear it, like, because the enemies use the same weapons. There's one gun
the
called
Carter.
No, it's the machine gun version, like the big version.
Okay.
I use it for the one that shoots. It kind of goes bang, 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 blah, 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 like it gets faster as you shoot.
It's not the Gorgon, is it? It's the
Gorgon. No, it's the Gorgon. I think.
Oh right, okay.
It's the Gorgon or something like Gorgon. It's the Kraken maybe. It's the Kraken or the Gorgon. It's a machine gun, and you shoot bullets, and it gets faster as it goes. And you can hear some of the Eximus Grineer units using that gun, because you can hear the bullets getting faster. Like, who's got one of them? What's that? Who's got one of them? Oh, it's him. Oh, it's the bad guy. Oh shit. They use the same guns we have. That's kind of cool. So I can hear that. That's kind of cool. And like you hear like laser pews. You're like, what the fuck are you using? That sounds like a space gun, and I want one.
But that can veer you off in a direction just to see what somebody's kind of got, and I really dig that.
Yeah. So I made one more weapon as well, and this is the one I think of all the weapons, the melee weapons I've tried since I tried Galatine. This thing's probably my favourite. I've made myself a set of Cronen. And Cronen are tonfas.
Yes, this is what I thought you were going to mention.
Dirty bladed tonfas.
What is a tonfa, Paddy?
A tonfa is like, I think normally a tonfa is basically a stick with a handle that sticks out the side, and you kind of hold them like alongside your arms. You hold the stick and they kind of hold along your arms, and you kind of swing them around. Like you'll see like them come up in kung fu movies quite a lot. These ones have blades on the outsides of them, so they're a bit more dangerous already. They're very fast. They're very, very strong, and the power set is very like the move set. I found a card for it as well. The move set is very entertaining. Just even the jump attack, like the jump forward attack, just kind of spins them around in front of you. Because is it me and you were playing, and I was yelling,
Yeah.
"I'm a helicopter! I'm a helicopter!" Every time I did it.
I said you sounded like a helicopter, and then you went, yeah! And then that was what kicked in afterwards.
And
it
then
was funny.
Did that, and it's such good, because it hits a few times as well. Like, it's got that move that, you know when you do a slide move, and you kind of do like a spinning around attack that hits like 4 or 5 times? It does that.
It's a bit Assassin's Creed, isn't it, in a way?
Sort
in the
of.
way that it kind of twirls and moves and stuff.
Sort of, yeah. And when if you block while you hold them, it crosses them in front of you, and it looks really, really good. Like, really, really good. I'm a big fan of these tonfas, and I'm actually going to be sacrificing those very soon, along with another Boltor that I have made, to mix them together and make a Bolt Ace, which is a Boltor version of the tonfas.
I'm excited to find out, because
It's
sometimes
a
you look at
Boltor,
something,
but you can hit people with it.
Because sometimes you look at stuff and you just go like, now I know I love that machine gun, but like what version of that is that? And there's even a Siandana, which is kind of a little bit Boltor-like, which is one of the better ones as well.
All Boltor, all day, forever. Like, there's handguns called the Boltos, and the Boltor gun, and the Bolt-Ace tonfas. Basically, if we can go all Boltor 2017, I'll be happy.
What's on a sort of fashion frame tip? What do you think to the Day of the Dead stuff, or the mustachioed skull Mexican drug cartel?
Well,
outfits. I love them.
Now I like the functionally free color palette. There's some good oranges in there and good greens. One credit, functionally free. If you ain't got 1 credit, you shouldn't be playing. And I like the pumpkin head. That's kind of fun, because it's got a real kind of like disgusted face, like I can't remember what Laura described it as, but for me it's like you walk in the bathroom in your socks and you step in something wet, but you're not sure if it's water or piss. You're like, ugh.
That says so much about your bathroom.
Yeah. Look,
terrifying.
It's dark in
Don't
there.
judge him, listeners. Don't judge. Judge him.
And you walk in someone else's bathroom like that, and it's like, what's that? So that's fun. The actual skins, I don't really like them. They are cool design, don't get me wrong. I like the design. I think the black and white kind of Day of the Dead look, the whole sort of Mexican style outfits looks great. But for me, I like bright, vivid primary colours.
But you can change that black to any colour.
But for me,
any colour.
Particularly the gun skins, I can't often see the gun skin when I'm running around. I just sort of see the vague shape of a blue thing that's shooting blue things, or
yeah,
I mean, the melee weapons are a bit different. Yeah, no, it's there, but for me, it's cool. But I think I prefer like the color palettes they gave us. That was more to my speed.
I like the
Cyandanas though.
Like such a cheap price. That's fantastic. The ship skin, I think, is really good. Like I haven't actually seen someone like flying along with a big mustachioed skeleton head like on the top. The reason that I thought you'd like these was because they reminded me a little bit of Guacamelee, which I know that you loved.
Guacamelee is the shit.
Yeah, because I was having a look at...
It's my game of the year 2014, if I remember rightly.
I was having a look at some of the capes and the sandanas and stuff, and I think I got like the like a bright coloured scheme on my Rhino, on the sandana there, and the way that affected those. All of a sudden, those were in like bright reds and sort of bright yellows and stuff, and it gave like more of a Guacamelee sort of feel to them. But I like them. The gun that I'm running with at the minute looks really nice. In that,
you can't just sell things to me because you say the word Guacamelee. I'm not that weak. I am, but I'm trying not to be.
I can hear you breathing. Just like, but yeah, if you look at them in different colours, like set yourself up with sort of quite a bright Sindana, and then go and look at those on. They genuinely just look like you're about to fight a bull rather than deal some drugs.
In space.
Yeah. We'll sort of carry on this tip that I think the Frost Prime is still available if you've got Amazon Prime. So they've extended that a little longer, and they've given 2 new weapons. Which are, I think it's the Soma Prime machine gun, which, dear God, and there's a big axe-like thing as well, which I can't remember the name of.
Soma? Sindo?
Yeah, I think it might be Sindo, actually.
Okay.
But the machine gun, before you came on the other day, I was like, Pad, this thing, it just doesn't change. Like, you just don't need to reload it at all. And you were like, what? I was like, look at this, and just held the fire button down for ages.
It felt like a while.
You were like, good God. And I was like, hold on, there we go, I've reloaded. And you were like, how many was that? I was like, I'll count. And there was like, that will fire, I think it's 201 bullets before reloading, which is insane.
That's disgusting.
It's sort of quite large, and it's a little bit. I'm not fully in love with it, but I wouldn't say I've maxed out the cards on it.
I think
yet,
it takes. I think until you're at 30 and you're playing with your full deck, I think it takes a while to really love a weapon, unless like the moveset clicks, or like one of the abilities or the way it shoots clicks straight away. Like, it's very hard to judge a new gun or weapon.
But it was doing that thing that we noticed the other night, whereby I was running around with the Ack and Brunt, just like parrying mofos with the shield and chopping them up with the axe, and then it was just leveling up my gun.
That was it.
Like,
because you did a parry, and that's more parries than you've ever done in Souls, isn't it?
This ties into Frame Souls.
You did a parry.
So. The Sindana that I've got at the moment, which is stupendously pretty, came from the Twitch drops that I've been kicking in following the release of Planes of Eidolon on PC, whereby if you're watching a streamer as they get achievements, you get achievements, and there are sort of random drops that were kicking in for me. Like, I'd watch a stream and then go to the inbox on my ship, and suddenly I'd got like 16 messages. And whilst most of them were fireworks, there was like Latron blueprints. I think a friend of mine might have got a Warframe out of it. I'm sure he was saying like, I don't know how I got this. I think it was from this. There's various bits. I think I got an Hurricane Catalyst.
Jeez.
On one drop.
So this is interesting because like we've talked about this a little bit in the past as well, but like you're the one who watches Twitch and I generally don't, and it's more of a, for me, it's not that I don't enjoy watching streaming, because I've watched a few people every now and again and it's alright, but it doesn't really fit into my normal schedule the way that you can fit it into yours, for instance. Like, you work quite unsociable hours, so you are up sometimes at like 4 in the morning when there's not much sort of going on, and you can pop on a stream and just watch someone sort of battering around. Whereas sort of I get home and sort of the TV times is, me and Laura watch a show and then it's video game time and then it's bed. So I don't often get time. I tend to try and fit my hours with playing the game rather than watching the game.
Yeah, but when I get up in the morning and I'm working out, I'll either watch like YouTube or a Twitch stream, because it's kind of, you can look at stuff, but also if I need to go into sort of a yoga position where I can't look at the TV, that's still fine.
Yeah, but here's the thing as well. Like,
if I'm eating my dinner, a similar sort of thing applies. But also when I am knackered from work, it's nice to just relax into for me. And there are people that who I like as people that Twitch stream, but also when I was playing Warframe, particularly the other week when Planes of Eidolon dropped, and I got some of the Twitch streams on my tablet. Like, I could listen to people like sort of Tactical Potato just talking and having a laugh and interacting with the community, and that was as good as like a podcast for me, because there were people that I kind of liked their company, so it all kind of tied in. Plus I was getting nice stuff, also fireworks.
For sure, yeah. I mean, and like you say, I think the thing that does it for me as well, like, I've watched people stream stuff, but generally it's only been stuff that I've already played. Like, and I know Planes of Eidolon is out now, and everyone's sort of on the PC anyway, is sort of playing and streaming it. I kind of don't want to see any more of it until I'm there.
I can understand that.
Yeah, I really relish, like, these days anyway. Like, I really like enjoy being able to go into something clean. Like, with the recent Souls 3, it was not my favourite one, but discovering things brand new without being spoiled, and it was kind of fun. Metal Gear 5, going in that completely blank was good. Nier Automata, again, like, I tried to go in as blank as possible. Like, I ignored a lot of the press and just went in on it to kind of preserve as many of the surprises, I guess, as I could. And with this Planes of Eidolon, I feel like it's going to be the same sort of thing. Like, it's going to have lots to it, and lots of things are going to change, and lots of things are going to be different, but I've kind of like to find them myself. And I think when we've watched the dev stream we watched, which was 98 or 99 we watched? The one where they showed off quite a bit, and they showed off
99, I think.
The glass Warframe Gara for the first time. They showed that off. Yeah. And that was like, oh, cool, here's about 10 minutes of it, just running around in the field. Like, cool, that's all I need to see. I'm done. That's fine. I'm sold. It's sold. It's £0.
I mean,
of course it's sold.
As much as I've watched of those streams, I still wouldn't say I've completely got a measure of it in the same way as I haven't with Warframe. I've seen people fishing and pulling out giant fish, and I saw some really cool stuff with like the archery Warframe. I can't think what it was. Where it was like
Ivara,
yeah, where somebody realised that you could ping, because seemingly she can create like sort of tight ropes that she can walk across, and somebody was pinging those into the middle of like an island in the middle of a lake, and basically turning it into like a spider web and just moving across the lake, and it's great to see. But again, it was more like people that I enjoyed just talking and interacting with the community, with just talking about Warframe. And if I was dead to the world after work, I could just sink into it or fall asleep to it or whatever. It was being in good company. Whereas ordinarily on Twitch, like the people that I'll watch play stuff that I don't. Like True Talent plays a lot of like
fighting
Dead by
games,
Daylight and fighting games, and he played Evil Within 2 recently, which I really enjoyed watching. But yeah, I still get the feeling in this case that it's kind of piqued my interest and my appetite's sort of still whetted, if you will. But yeah, Planes launched a couple of weeks ago, and on PC, its console is set for November, and apparently they're quite far along with that. But
nice.
Obviously, you could kind of say that the PC is beta testing everything else, and they were squashing bugs as fast as they came in. And dear God, they worked hard that opening weekend in particular. There were fresh builds that were kicking in, like hot fixes all the time, and the designer Steve. There was a certain point where he said on Twitter, "Oh, I'm really knackered, but I'm going live on Periscope." And he just started talking to like all the fans, and like walking them around Digital Extremes and going into the different rooms, and people going like, "Oh, can we see the server room?" He was like, "The hamster cage, yeah, of course you can." And just like you just saw everybody at the company that was passionate, that was testing stuff all over the place, that they'd run it by on like Windows 10 years old Windows XP like PCs, and it was up and running on that, and just this conversation went on for ages, and you just saw thousands of people started watching. And then over that weekend as well, where after it launched, you kind of thought, well, the tech people will be there to quash the bugs, but everybody else, please rest, because I know in the run up to it they got some Twitch streamers that were in there that were just testing it out live like for 3 days, and but over that weekend they had like Megan would turn up on like start co-oping with people on their Twitch streams, and Space Mom like appeared in her pajamas like playing it, and sort of did a couple of live streams that way. You're just thinking like, you proper love what you do, you proper love it. And I wouldn't have thought any less of you if you'd have gone, we've got this out of the door, there are clever people sort of squashing bugs as soon as they come in, right, we'll have a weekend off, and recharge for the week ahead. No. Like still sort of going into it with that level of enthusiasm. And even now, like they've gone to there's been various live streams from DE this week. They've gone to TwitchCon, and they're getting back from Los Angeles to Canada, and then they're getting on a plane to Australia and going to PAX Australia. And you're just thinking like, and then apparently DevStream 100 is going to be a bit special.
Okay.
They promised us that afterwards, but again, like even when I was watching the footage from TwitchCon, you're just thinking like, you must be shattered, but you don't even come across as someone that's putting a professional face on being shattered. You just look like you love what you do, and you love the people that you're interacting with, and that's really rare and incredibly special, and it just endears me to the company and the fan base all the more.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I followed their sort of social account now on Twitter, and like every post they do just seems like warm.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like someone has put that together that actually gives a shit about the game they're making. Like they care about the game they're making. They want it to be as good as it can be. Like they're not just firing it and throwing it out into the void and being done with it. Like they just really want to interact. Like they want to listen, and like they said, any bugs, tell us, we'll fix them. Just tell us where the bugs are.
They were hot fixing like a mofo on that opening weekend. They were working so hard, and obviously you only know sort of quite what's going to happen when you open it up to everybody. But I don't know. I was just it just warmed my heart, and at a point where this game still can't get any press, and yet the press are constantly talking, like whinging about rightfully, about loot boxes and about algorithms to further the sale of loot boxes and all that sort of stuff.
Do you know that Zer's back this weekend? He's got some stuff.
Great.
Yeah. Every week, without fail. Can Warframe get a bit of press? Can it, bollocks?
It can't. And yet, the fan base are super passionate. And like, there's loads of them.
Don't forget those 3 million players that started playing this year because of us.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, that was us.
I will say, like, one of my favourite things of late was listening to Brad Galloway talk about his time with Warframe on the So Video Games podcast. Because when we were first getting into it, Brad was at PAX in, I think it was in Portland or Seattle.
An America place.
Yeah. And I said to him, almost sort of off the cuff, going like, "Oh, have you seen the guys from Warframe? Tell them about the podcast." Like, almost in sort of like, I didn't expect him to, but
I did,
and he did. And not only that, but he took a picture with Danielle from Digital Extremes to prove that he'd spoken to the folks at Warframe. And then they gave him some Warframe bandanas and some platinum, which Brad then posted across to us, which was super lovely anyway.
Such a good boy.
But Brad had said that he tried 4 times to get into Warframe and hadn't been able to. And to hear just how much fun he's having, but not only sort of on his own, like his wife's playing it and his son's playing it and stuff. They're figuring it out together, but also, if he's got any questions, he's like interacting like the rest of us with the rest of us, and that conversation's wonderful, and it just proper warmed my heart. I mean, he's a true gentleman himself, but the way that he spoke about us was just humbling. And proper lovely. And again, at a point where work's gone bonkers for me, proper misted my eyes up. It was great, but just hearing that it's come back around and now he's like super into it. And don't know, it's cool.
It's nice, isn't it? It's nice.
I like it.
I like it a lot. Do you know what else I like?
Building a space station.
Yeah, go on. Let's do that then. I was going to go a different direction, but okay. Let's go that direction. Yeah, I built a space station. I built a space station. Right.
Talk to me about building a space station.
Right.
Like what Paddy's talking about is the dojos.
Clans, right? So
Clan dojo.
So you can join or make your own clans in Warframe, where you can join up with your friends and make a place where you can call your home and use it to research technologies. And I know some people that are listening that have been playing for ages have their clans with all the technologies researched, or like lots of them done anyway. Some of them have joined into those clans, so you've got access to the technology. I've decided, no, we're not doing that. We're going to do this the hard way. We're going to do this the stubborn way. Yeah, stubborn. That's the word I was looking for. Stubborn as a mule. If we unlock something, I want it to be because we did it. So I decided to make ourselves a little clan, just for the two of us, called Tenno the Humanities. Because I'm just that pun I did earlier. That's that pun. I'm quite proud of that.
You're really milking that.
Yeah, I'm milking it like the space cash cow that it is.
War cow.
Ooh, Warframe.
Yeah, that's.
Let's get on with it.
You're normally not good at this stuff.
No, I'm all right actually. So I decided to make us a little clan and went to our clan hall, which was just, here's a room. Enjoy your room. Cool. I ran around the room for a bit and got confused and left. And have since kind of looked into building it up, because you basically build it like, kind of like if you ever played with Time Splitters, the level editor in that, where you basically take bespoke parts and kind of clip them together by the doors. So you've got the main hall and you clip on a cross connector on that, and then you can put rooms on the sides and rooms on the end, and then you've got to build a reactor as well, so there's enough power to keep everything running. I think I rebuilt the first 3 rooms 3 separate times because I kept cocking them up. Because I wanted to make sure we had enough stuff between the two of us with our ghost clan, which is what we've got, which is like a small clan. And there is a way of building everything useful, or everything that's immediately useful, for like the cheapest way possible, because I wanted just to have everything, and I'm not really concerned about it being a social space to hang out in forever. It's a place we're going to go, conduct some transactions with technology and leave. Wow, I'm proud of that. That's a good thing to say. So yeah, I kind of looked up on an optimal thing, and even on the actual Warframe on the one of the wikis, there's actually a section called research, and you can go on there, and it does show you like for a ghost clan, this is your optimum setup, this is the order you build it in, this will get you access to everything. It's not going to be especially pretty, but you will get everything. So that's what I've done, and I've been building towards that, and thus have built a great home for us that's completely like the other ones.
This has been all you. I've pretty much left you alone to and sort of heard like little mutterings on the corner of like, I've built this, come and look, and then I'll go and you've just like built some sort of 3-floor reactors, a room with 3 glowing things, and then you took me into a room where I could research weapons.
Yes.
And warframes. I could get them, and
I built these in a certain order. So the first one I built after the Oracle, which is like a default one you have to put down to unlock everything else, which doesn't need to do anything on its own, as far as I can tell, but who knows? I mean, this game has layers. Maybe we'll discover it later. I built a Tenno lab, which is the basic, Orokin research area, so that will allow you to research Tenno weapons. A lot of the ninja swords are in there, like a lot of the more ninja-y stuff is in there, I think. As well as actual warframes. I think it's the only one of the areas that has warframes and archwings to research as well. So we've set the research going on the first few projects. I think we've chosen Banshee as our first frame, just because out of the 4 it seemed the most, I don't know, interesting to me anyway. I was like, yeah, I'll do. The nearest. It was under B, and there was no A warframe in there, so I've gone with that one. So I got that going and had a look at the colours and trying to work out what I need to do to make colours work, which I haven't quite worked out yet, but we're getting there. I've since built 2 more labs as well, which is a chem lab, which I believe is the Corpus one. Don't hate me if I got that wrong, Internet. I think that's the right one. It's the Corpus lab. It's got a walker in the middle, and that allows you to research Corpus weapons and Corpus stuff, which is kind of fun. And I built a bio lab as well, which allows you to research a lot of the infested type weapons, that are kind of the gooey ones. I think the next one is the... Shit. What is the next one? The other lab.
Well researched.
The other one. Yeah, look, there's lots going on. I've got so many timers to worry about now.
You're doing well with it, because it would have completely overwhelmed me, but you've proper cracked into this. You've forged a home for us.
Here's the thing, right? I'm glad we've talked about it now, because now you can join me when we go back there, because dear God, I'm running out of formers.
The thing is,
I'm spending so much formers to make this house.
This ties into the Plains of Eidolon Twitch drops, because one of the things that was dropping pretty massively in that was formers.
Christ.
Yeah,
because I've been running Lith relic missions over and over and over again, getting the blueprints, and you can only make 1 former at a time, and it takes 24 hours. I can do formers at the rate of 1 a day if I'm lucky.
It might be worth you doing a similar thing to what I did, and just set your tablet going with a Twitch stream or something.
I might have to,
seeing what drops,
because I'm going to go insane if I have to keep farming these one by one, because you need at least 1 former per room.
I mean, you are. I did get a former dropping every 15, say, boxes of flipping fireworks.
God, I thought you were going to say 15 minutes then, and I was just going to swear at you.
No, but I did get a decent amount of them dropping, and I'd always on a fisher mission would always rather
a what?
Fisher mission.
Fisher mission.
Yes, a relic fisher mission. Money penny.
No fisher mission.
I'd always rather get a prime part than a former previously. But obviously we're building a home, and oh my God, that's the other thing with the thing that you've got, that one of the early things that you can research is the blueprint for are they called the Venka claws?
Yeah.
The massive Wolverine claws,
Huge.
which come with Rhino Prime, I think.
Yeah.
They're part of Rhino Prime, so or at least the Prime versions of them are. So I've never ever seen a discount on these. Even when you get the discounts from the loot boxes, they don't apply to these
because they're Tenno research ones.
Yeah,
because you have to build them your damn self.
But they're early on in that Tenno research. So
third one after, I think each one of the weapons takes 2 to 3 days to research fully. and then it unlocks another one. It's like a tech tree almost. You unlock the first one, which then unlocks the next 2, which then unlocks the next 4.
Yeah.
So you kind of work your way down through them. One of the interesting ones I've set off in the Tenno Lab, Silver and Aegis, which is the fiery sword and shield combo.
Yes,
so that's going now. Yeah,
I think somebody like Sentinel Plus or Ninja Badge has got those on Twitter. Although I did see a Day of the Dead skin for Silver and Aegis, and essentially it looks like all that fire is coming out behind the giant mustachioed skull.
Superb.
What better can you get from that?
Superb.
Because I was torn as to whether to get that or Akenbrunt, and I just thought I just went with Akenbrunt.
It's 2 good choices, to be fair. I've looked at both as well myself, and I'm like, I like them both. They're good in their own ways. Ooh.
But people slagged off the look of the Akenbrunt and said it's been rescued by one of the skins you can get for it. But I don't like the skin as much as the regular one. And if you get the right colour scheme on it, it's bonza.
Taste is subjective. Completely subjective. I think there's a lot of designs in here that you probably won't like, but there's also a lot of designs that you really, really like. That's the standard Rhino helmet doesn't do a lot for me. The one that's got a goddamn ramming bar as his nose, yes please, I'll have 5 of those.
Can never resist a hat.
I can't resist. Do you know what? It's stupid. I really can't. Anytime a hat mission comes up, that one looks a bit like a bowler hat. Click. Oh, that one's like a nice tricorn hat. Click. Oh, that one looks like Harley Quinn. Click. That one's got boobs for eyes. Click.
What would you do to recommend somebody getting into building a dojo?
Right. So,
because I know there are people that have already got them fully formed. I know Michael's been inviting people to his clan
doing the Lord's work,
jump into that sort of stuff. But if somebody wants to do what we're doing,
we've done,
you're doing, rather,
okay,
and trying to figure it out.
To start it is absolute piss easy. You literally go on your options menu, the community section in clans, and it's literally join clan or start clan. Those are your 2 options. You're like, well, okay, start clan. Just type a name in and you've done it. You've made the clan. You can then invite your friends into it. They can join in as well. You can actually give everyone ranks as well. So I'm the warlord of our clan, which means I'm in charge. And you can actually set the people in your clan have different ranks, so they can access different stuff. So they could, for example, contribute to rooms in the thing, but not suggest construction. Or they can access the message boxes at the front. Or there's various things they can do to it, like invite members, ban members, that sort of thing. And there's various different permissions up and down. So you can basically set your friends to be like, oh, I'm going to put you as general, and I'm going to put you as recruit, and kind of put a few of them in between. So when you've got a few friends in there, it's easy to manage who can do what. So you don't come back one day and find the place ruined, which is kind of fun. And then literally you just go to dojo. It says, hey, go to your clan dojo, and you go there and walk up to a door, press square, and choose a room, and be prepared to spend a shitload of formers. Just so many formers. Just get formers is my advice. Get formers. Get friends who have formers, because you need formers. You need lots of jigsaws.
Do you remember when we saw formers and we're like, what are these puzzle pieces for? Now, you know.
Yeah, we puzzled over them quite a bit, didn't we?
We certainly did.
Oh.
It's easy enough to go into another U-bit that we found out. Well, it was kind of an us bit, but then I went to bed and just woke up to a million pictures that you.
Ooh,
that sounds terrible.
So they were of my penis.
Yeah, stop it. So there's a capturer mode in Warframe, and
now capturer is actually space talk for camera.
Okay,
just so everyone's with us there.
Just in layman's terms,
it's photo thing.
See, you've been building a space station now, and all of a sudden you're just trying to sort it out for us little people. Yeah. Thanks.
I like to. I attack, I protect.
So there were a load of options which I'll lead Paddy to go into in a minute. But essentially, we went into a level which seemed to be some sort of Dead Space alien type level, which seems to be completely set up with different lighting conditions for you to take pictures around.
It's Hive based, and I have actually been just to cut you off here. I've been to levels that look like that. No question, I've been to levels that look like that. But rarely, and
but
never one this spectacular.
This seemed to be like lighting condition. Oh, look, you can see outside of the space station where there's lots of light coming in. Oh, and there's darkness. There's a bit of shadow. Oh, there's a light coming through a fan at the end of a tunnel, and it just seems like it's set up.
Here's a giant electric laser,
and you can and you can co-op these, but one person kind of decides when to pause the camera, and then you can swing the camera around. And you can do loads of different sort of settings and. Talk about the settings. I'm
going to talk about settings. It's time for mechanics news. Yes, it's back. After 3 years, we're back at mechanics news. So I actually had a look at this before and not really dug into it and not understood it properly. I understand it now. It is a joy button to make your Warframes look better than they look normally. So here's what Captura does. So you can co-op it, and whoever's like the lead player that takes you in is the one that gets control of when you pause and when you stop. But when the lead character pauses, everybody gets to play with their cameras. So you're all basically in pause mode. You can dick around and change your lighting conditions. Now you can adjust things like depth of field to get like the background blurry and like your Warframe sharpen in focus. You can adjust the field of view as well to kind of make it kind of widescreen or quite zoomed in. So you can get kind of cool, kind of close up, almost lens like fisheye look, not quite, but like close up wide angle stuff, which is quite fun. You can move your camera all over the place as you expect from all the photo modes you get in games these days. There are a number of filters you can apply over the picture too. So you've got your standard like natural filter. There's like a contrasty one where all the colours get bumped, which is the one I like. There's a burn one where all the colours get a bit kind of reddish and greenish, which is nice. Cross-process, so it looks like a cross-processed slide film. One for the photography people out there. There's a few, like I say, there's a few of them. You can mix and match with them. And the cool part is that stays on when you come out of the pause menu. So you can run around with this big dumb filter on still.
Because I had the saturated one on when I was sort of boinking around, I think.
Kind of makes me want to like have that on forever. Like, I'd love to have that on and play a proper mission like that. So you can do that.
Because lots of the stuff in that alien level that we were on was pretty much like bright whites and bright reds amongst like the sort of cool the pale grey steel,
the blues and the greys,
and all the sort of mucky alien gunge, and the level itself was just gorgeous.
It was pretty. The weird bank of computers looking out on the goo. So you can do that. You can kind of zoom in, zoom out, twitch around the cameras. You can adjust the light in the scene as well, so you can actually turn off the level lights if you want, like turn them right down, and apply what's called the three light camera, 3-light setup. So you have 3 lights set up on your Warframe, like focused on you, and you can adjust the colours and the brightness and the position as well. So you can really like muck around to make your guy look as good as you can. I think I spent. You saw all these pictures from me. I would imagine I think I spent a good hour colouring in my Warframes and then taking photos of them in cool ways.
This was after we'd run around and sort of twatted about with it and had fun, and I was like, I'm going to have to go to bed. I'm up at 3 o'clock. And all of a sudden you would. I just woke up the next morning. It was just like swoosh, and this is me and my dog.
Yeah,
just like really bizarre stuff.
So I found with my Rhino using his Galatine, because you can just run around and do your powers and attack normally, and you can kind of pause mid power and get a cool shot, kind of mid explosion. When I was sort of swinging Rhino's sword around, I activated slow-mo mode, and there's actually got a slow-mo that has real good control to it, so you can go at like 0.01 times speed or 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, like you can really get it down to a level you feel comfortable with. So what you can do is you can start an attack off, pause it at the start, and then you can hold the like advanced time button. But if you're in slow-mo mode, it'll advance time really slowly. So you can get like that perfect shot of the sword just tinging into the ground, or when you've got it perfectly swooshed around you with a lovely like blue arc of energy sort of swinging around your Rhino. And that's all I've done. Like, it's one of my pictures I took is now my phone background. It's that good.
Cool.
A delicious sort of from below sort of overhand swing of the sword, sort of from by his side right up to behind his back, and the arc goes perfectly all around him, like in a good 270-degree arc of blue. It's majestic. And the fact you can then play with the colours as well and just really kind of finick in, just get it perfect, and like being able to advance time by a couple of seconds is just really, really powerful. I just love it. It's so pretty. Again, I was talking to Michael Preen. Preen.
Pran, yeah.
Pren, okay. About this. And yeah, he said, I like to go in and make a shot for the start of a stream. And an hour later, I've then got 73 of them. Or whoops. But yeah, there's 3 at the minute. I think with the basic set, you've got 3 areas you can visit. And I think you can get more from like Barrow Katir and like, I think from the various clans you join. You can upgrade, you can buy ones from there. So there's 3. There's a Corpus one, a Grineer one, and the one we were in was the Infested one. So you can basically have 3 different setups. Like the Grineer one is like a yellowy cargo ship. The Corpus one is like a very pale blue. Like the Corpus areas look. You know, like the Corpus areas on Venus look. Very sort of blue and snowy. And it's just so powerful. And you can just make your guy look as cool as you want. It serves functionally no purpose whatsoever outside of here's a way of making your Warframe look cool for photos. Like, that is all it's for. And that is fine.
They've done it like on the primetime streams. They've had the captures that people have taken have been on there and like pinned up on the board behind, and like there's a whole section on the forum for them. And I know that Megan goes through like DeviantArt and finds them on there and looks for the best ones amongst like, you know, the best paintings of Warframes and the drawings and stuff like that. So it's not just, here's a thing to twat about with. It's there's a genuine nuance that's for it being there in the first place. But yeah, it's so kind of celebrated quite a lot anyway. So,
but yeah, the top tip for that is open up your advanced settings, find that slow-mo button. It will change your life. And also, if you're doing melee attacks to make yourself look cool, hold the L2 button down when you're doing it, because you'll do the focus thing where your weapons glow. And ooh baby, look pretty. It looked very nice.
And on that dodgy accent,
that came out quite weird, didn't it?
It did. Let's move swiftly on, because we got some feedback. We've been catching up with how people have been. What?
You forgot something.
No, I didn't.
You've skipped over something very important.
What?
I can't believe you've done this.
What?
After all we talked about, you've skipped and jumped over...
There's no shark.
A very important... There's no shark. No, there isn't a shark, but there is another animal we need to talk about.
Oh, yeah. Talk about your dog.
Don't be like that. You were very excited about the dog earlier.
Yeah, I am. I'm just really jealous because I've not got a dog.
So Kubros, you've probably heard of the Kubros if you've been playing for a while. Kubros, and you've probably seen people with them when you run around the level. They're dogs that can chase you around and attack enemies for you. Kubros are really cool, and there's a mission you get called Howl of the Kubro, where you can find their egg and make an incubator, which takes forever because you can't find any fucking nanospores until you get to like Neptune or some shit.
That's why I've not got to them then.
They're just they are about, but they are buried further into the missions than they really should be. But anyway, I made a thing, and I found the incubator core, and I found my egg, which was just sitting there for about a week until I found the stuff I needed. And so here's the thing. So when you make a Kubro, you kind of cook it, and unless you found like a specific DNA pattern for some, I don't know how that works, you can make a specific one. Otherwise, it will give you a random one of like the 4 main ones. I think there's a grey one, a white one, a black one, and a ginger one. I did something wrong with mine. So when you get all the components together, it's like, make a random Kubro, make one based off an imprint, or drain Helmith Cyst.
So if somebody doesn't know, there's a cyst, which is like a little pink mouse that ends up on your shoulder, and there is a way to get rid of it, but explore your ship. But you quite liked having a little pink mouse on your shoulder because it's you.
I mean, no, I didn't. It disgusted and repelled me. I didn't enjoy it. Maybe you're thinking of someone else. I didn't like mine.
So why was it still there when you were creating your Kubro?
I think it had been because you can only get rid of it after a certain amount of time. Like, I think it's got to sit on your shoulder for a week until you can get rid of it. So I was like,
really?
It's a couple of days at least. You can't do anything about it straight away. You've got to...
you can.
No. Almost certainly. Because I've had that on there and I've walked around and I've gone to the place you need to go and it wouldn't let me in.
Giant spiders don't feed themselves.
Promise you. It's got to be. You got to feed up the mouse before you feed it to the spider. A tiny little mouse baby isn't going to feed it at all, is it? We're getting off topic. So I saw the option to drain my helmet cyst, and I thought, does that get rid of the gooey thing on my shoulder? Cool. Click. It's like, cool. Making your dog now, and I was like, what?
So you drained it into your dog?
I think I basically took this horrible, nasty mouse growth off of my neck, and I just wrung it out into my dog egg, and thought, right, let's cook that now. Like you've made a pie, and you said, do you know what? I've got this pie, but before I cook this pie, let's just open the pie up. Let's just squeeze out some warts off my toe into it. Let's just do that first.
Oh, did you have to go there? You could have just said, like, I thought you were going to say, like, a mouse or spiders.
No, this thing is pretty much a wart. It is a tumour. It is a cyst. They call it a cyst. It's sitting on your shoulder. It's a cyst. So you drain it out into this dog egg, and it says, right, making your dog now. And I was very scared, and didn't look it up. I made a point. I said, I'm not going to check the wiki. I'm just going to see what comes out of this horrible egg. Turns out, a piece of coral in the shape of a dog.
It looks like some sort of bizarre insect leopard.
It is. That's got like a sea anemone all over it.
But it's great.
So I initially was quite repulsed. I didn't realise it was a dog until it stood up. It just looked like a kind of formation. It turned out the dog was laying on its side with its leg in the air. So I was disgusted. Laura thought it was adorable. And it was like, when you first grow it, it's a puppy as well. So it's like, knee high. It's quite small. And Laura's like, it's cute. And I was like, I hate it. I don't like it. This is a horrible mistake. What have I done? It was orange, at least, so it had that going for it. But I was a little bit like, crap. I've made a hell dog. I've made an accident. So I go over to the menu to see what I can do with it. And the dog runs over and sits down on the incubator. And the very first thing it did was it sat down on its bum, and then with its front legs started walking forwards, doing the dog boot scoot all over the floor. It did the dog boot scoot all over the floor. Oh, that's awesome. Laura pissed herself laughing, and the dog had to stay.
That's amazing.
It was really, and it was the first thing it did outside of, literally outside of being born and running around the ship for 5 minutes. It just.
You can imagine at Digital Extremes, like we've created a dog. What do dogs do? And then somebody went, they walk forward on their front legs and wipe their arse on the carpet. No, why are you putting that in the game?
No, on second thoughts, correct. Good choice. So that happened, and it's like, this has to stay now. So I kept it as a puppy for a while. And when you've got this dog, it won't just sit there. It will run around the ship with you. Like, if you got to your main deck, where your navigation thing is, the dog will follow you. Like, the dog will just wander up and say hello and just div around.
The dog can die, can't it?
Dog can die. You've got to feed your dog. You've got to kind of plug DNA stabilizer into the dog. You don't give it food, you give it DNA.
Where do you get the DNA from?
You just buy it with credits in the dog menu. Like, you haven't got it. It's not hidden.
Oh, it's just credits then?
It's just credits. I think something like 75,000 gets you 5 charges, and each charge gives you about some dog stability. I don't know how much it is, but it's a significant amount. Like, it's good.
Because I think,
and you can also pet the dog, which makes the dog feel better. Because not only does the dog have a strength bar, which depletes as you kind of go in time and as the dog dies, it also has like a motivation bar, so how much the dog likes you. So you have to go over and tickle the dog every day and play with the dog.
That's just the greatest thing.
Yeah. So my dog.
I saw the conversation between Brad Galloway and Michael earlier, and apparently, like, if you don't put the dog in stasis and you ignore like the game for a bit, it can die.
It dies. Yeah, you got to feed don't make a dog and forget about the dog. Well, you can do it on the app. You can actually do all this from the app, which is quite fun. So even if you're away from your TV,
Tamagotchi.
That's okay.
Tamagotchi. That's all right. Yeah, it's not too bad in retrospect.
Tenogotchi.
Yeah, okay. Why? You're never any good at this stuff, and all of a sudden,
like, maybe it's Warframe. Maybe the puns are just the puns are strong tonight. So my dog, I matured
pun?
it. That was good. Can I try him? Was that a pun?
No, you just
you've already got to hit that pun.
No, you're just trying to steal my thunder, Ginger Birch.
We're not just So I made my dog an adult, and I called it Mistake because the dog was a mistake. And I've made the dog an adult, and when you mature it to adulthood, it grows to the size of a pony. So now I have a coral-based orange hell pony that lives in my ship with me.
And you're romping through alien spaceships, taking pictures of the two of you.
Yes, just on a lovely bant with the dog.
Where's that Destiny? Hey,
where's my dog in Destiny? There's no dog in Destiny.
No.
Boo.
Destiny.
So I've matured it to adulthood, and it comes out on missions now, and it has two main powers that you get at the start because it comes with its own cards, and you can kind of plug these in and take them out as you wish. The first one is like a charge, where it just kind of dives forward at people because it's a Helmuth Charger is the breed of the dog, and it also has. Now, I'm a bit uncomfortable about this. The dog has a proboscis. Why does a dog have a proboscis?
Explain why this bothers you.
Because dogs
you
should
said it about 4 million times in co-op the other night, and I was like, stop it.
It's a dog, right? Dogs have mouths and tongues and teeth. They don't often have proboscises or like thoraxes. You know, this dog has like antennae and mandibles.
That's because you put an insect inside it.
I did squeeze a cyst into the dog.
There we go. I'm glad we could get beyond that particular mystery.
I peeled it off and I stuck it in the dog tank, like that film with The Fly, where a fly got in the tank and then Jeff Goldblum came out all flyy. Like, that's what I did. So whoops. So, but yeah, I like my dog. Like, it runs around, it headbutts stuff. It has one of the cards on it where it goes in lockers and finds stuff for you, which is quite good.
Cool.
I need to level that up a bit because that's not as strong as that could be right now. It does it like once every now and again, but I can level it up to the point where it does it like every other locker. Like, yes please, yes please, yes please, yum yum, yum yum.
Imagine going to the supermarket with that dog. The way that people... Just like coming back with like fish fingers and bags of crisps and also people like diving out of the way like what's that going into the shelves? Is that a monster?
Well, what you could do, you could park in the disabled space and just leave the dog in the car. No one would go near the car.
No.
Like, oh, someone's parked in there. Okay, it's fine.
You could go anywhere with that dog. Mind you,
probably ride it. It's big enough.
I'm on Laura's side with that one. I think it's quite cute.
I'm kind of warming to it, but initial impressions were, what have I done? Like the horror on my face. Like, oh, what? Oh no. So I like my dog. You should get a dog soon. They're good. Don't drain a cyst into it. Have a real dog. And I think I've unlocked the ability to have a cavat as well now, which seems to be like a lizard dog.
I think I've got the name for my dog, but which is very clever. But I'll save that for as when and if I get a dog.
Oh,
in the game,
you make it sound like you might not get a dog. You sound quite defeated. Like if I get one.
Yeah, I don't know. I quite like having like the little freeze ray thing.
Yeah, get a dog. You'll see.
Okay.
You'll change your mind when you see this dumbass running around your ship and falling asleep in the command center. You're like, yeah, all right, you can stay.
The tickling the dog thing was kind of a biggie, I think.
And you've just got to do it. Turns out as well, when you're near the dog in your ship, if you tap the circle button near your dog, it will tickle the dog wherever you are. You can just tickle the dog.
Shut up about dogs, doggy star dog.
Dog, woof.
We've got some feed bark.
Oh! I was going to say your pun game has been pretty shit tonight. That's quite good.
You're such a cow. So I'm going to give the first one to our friend Janos, which is Dark J at Playful Wolf on Twitter. He said, Warframe, I never doubted your fine recommendation, but can now confirm I've dipped my Excalibur-shaped toes in and report it is indeed all kinds of special. I knew I said I had too much space with 3 perpetual games started due to an embarrassment of calendar. But I couldn't resist having a sneaky peek. I'm very early days, just got off Earth, but there's so much here to like, plus so much to understand. It's all a mystery, and I love that. I can see I'm going to be stealing more time for this in the future. Like I say, I have many reasons to trust your judgment, so I knew I wouldn't be disappointed. Just didn't expect to find time. Then once I started it, it became a question of finding time. Very excited as I've been cooking up my first proper Foundry build. My great companion, the Taxion from the blueprint you get for unlocking Venus, and I can't wait to see what it adds.
Hey! So that first Taxon is good. That Taxon is good. Like, just this comment is for you, Janos. Like, that's good. Get that freeze ray on it. It's good. It'll be a stalwart companion for the early game, 100%. But yeah, really chuffed. I knew you'd like that.
Yeah, he's a good lad. I'm really glad he's into it as well, because I know there were quite a few people who were playing Destiny 2 at the point where all of a sudden we started wobbling massively about Warframe, and a number of them have seemingly now jumped onto it and are really liking it. So
welcome to Team Contrary Bitch.
Yeah, well, I mean, this ties into a message I got from Morbid Beard, who said, although I hadn't played it for a little while because I've been wading through other games, Warframe continues to dazzle with its majesty, and I am still bewildered by it. I have now officially sold Destiny 2, as Warframe completely takes over what Destiny tries to do with an extra flair and extravagance that you don't see too often in games these days. It's a little gem of a game, and despite being a bit tied up with other games right now, I'm very much looking forward to tucking back into its wonders. It's a wee beauty of a game, and what Digital Extremes has accomplished should be applauded.
Jesus.
Yeah.
It's dead on though. It touches like what we've been speaking about, that I think. Okay, let's not be like the Destiny is shit podcast. I don't want us to be that, but it feels like Destiny's got the polish.
We've not played it.
No, we haven't.
We've not played Destiny 2. And
but from the outside,
there's a certain point that we will play Destiny 2, but we're kind of a little bit.
Yeah, we're not there yet. But like from the outside anyway, it seems like Destiny's got the polish, but Warframe's got the ambition. Like that's how I see it in my not really played it form. So I watched a bit of the raid the other day, and it looked lovely, beautiful looking, but it just looked like another raid.
I just think of the two of them that if Destiny is the big blockbuster summer movie, Warframe is the series of novels. That's what it feels like to me. Because you know when a novel gets
someone gives to you because it's free.
Well, there is that, but
it's a free game.
When a book gets turned into a film, it's often like the side parts that the parts where it veers off the beaten track that get planed out, and you've got like your straight line ahead.
And the characters all get enormous breasts.
Don't distract them. I often find that when reading the book that it is those points where it just like veers off in different directions that are the most memorable. It's still got the momentum of going forward, but it's those zigzags are fantastic, and that's what Warframe sort of feels like to me. We've got Spug Notherson, Richard Sawyer, who emailed to say, the addiction is stronger this time than ever before. I started Warframe over 3 years ago on the Xbox, and while it was a fun distraction back then, I found it lacked direction and an explanation of its systems. After playing it for over 20 hours, I finally lost my way and left it to gather virtual dust. This is where it stayed for quite some time until you fine gentlemen decided to dedicate an episode to it. After reinstalling and updating the game, I found my tenor where I left him, lost and without direction. I re-listened to your podcast and heard mention of mods being the way forward. Weapons don't get strong with levels, only mods. Now I had a fully tricked out Bratton on my Excalibur Warframe. What else did you guys say? Oh yes, skills were the way forward. Hold in your right shoulder button and choose from the 4 available Warframe specific skills. 4 over 20 hours in, I've only just discovered this. I was an amateur, no more. Now
Why does no one listen?
We did a good thing. We did something right. I'm now so deep in the game that I understand the IPS damage system, the elemental damage, and the farming routes. Excalibur and Frost Prime are wreaking havoc through the plains with the Hex shotgun, Boltor rifle, dual Zorans, and a Sindo Prime axe. One more mastery level and the Tonkor grenade launcher comes out to play. Time to start farming those bosses for the Rhino, Mag and Oberon parts. Must have more Warframes. My current 2 are maxed out. That's really cool. Thank you, man.
God, I like the rate you can get those Warframes is good. Like you can have yourself a Rhino quickly, and if you've got the sort of stuff that it sounds like you've probably got the ability to get yourself a Valkyr and a Nova quickly as well. Oh.
I'm going to because I know you've got a mailing from Sentient Plus, but I'm going to jump into something now, which is kind of cool because one of the folks who started boinging into Warframe after all of us started jumping in and having fun was Jake Lionheart on Twitter, and Jake jumped in with a Mag initially, and then was gifted an Octavia. Listen to his beats that he's been setting up. Hold on. That's really cool.
I
So
like
this
that.
is like the disco ball that Octavia has, and he said that his 11-month-old son stops being fussy when he plays him with his Octavia beats. That's really cool.
The thing is, like, the Octavia power for that is great because I made mine pretty quickly in that, like a sort of tribal boogadum-bum-bum-bum-bum-bum. And like, I hear it when my brain goes quiet. I hear it. And I know you can buy other... It sounds like he's bought other instrument packs for that, because that's different to the... Like, the bam-bam is definitely a different one than I've got. So
well, Jake's a musician anyway. And
he's a music boy. This seems like...
one.
Yeah, this seems like his kind of frame. For different reasons than Octavia's my kind of frame, because I like to just be loud and irritating. Like, listen to me! Whereas Jake's actually using it to make some proper... Can we say sick beats?
I think it sounds terrible for with our English accents trying to. Oh yes, those are sick beats. What up, dog?
That beat be Boston, yo.
Oh dear God, my buttons be vibrating. No, that's
drop the bass.
Yes, drop it now. So he's also got an Ash Warframe and a Karga skin that just looks phenomenal.
I know that.
I think that might be another deluxe, but all of those deluxe skins are just belting anyway.
Crunchy.
Do you want to read Sentient Plus's?
Yeah. Let's dip. Okay. Since the last time we spoke, been chasing Octavia's Anthem quest, which is quite a way on actually. Bashing my head against it really due to difficulty with sentience. Don't know what they are. Also, finally beat the Dash Archwing mission on Phobos, just shy of 90 hours into the game. I don't know what that mission is either, do you? No, we continue. Sorry, we picked up the Sands of Inaros quest when Barrow visited the other day, so that's next on the big list. Aside from that, I've been befuddling Grineer mines with Nyx and slashing Corpus with Valkyr. The next frame nearly done in the oven is Banshee, so that's exciting for the weekend. Lastly, I had to put my faithful bat dog into stasis, lest she degrade further. Got to figure out how to keep her frolicking healthily. DNA stabilizer and touch her face.
Interesting.
Touch her face. I've also picked up the Sands of Inaros quest as well from Barrow, who we did try and get that for you before we started recording tonight, but he's just left.
Because I'm not a Saturn yet.
Yeah, because I can definitely like... Because you can just bring people in to missions. Like if one of you can get there, all of you can get there. You can kind of taxi you in almost. But it's really cheap. Like it's one of the cheapest things he sells. It's only like 100 ducats, which is piss all in a 5-year plan. But yeah, no, it sounds like... So, refresh me. So, Sentionauts Plus, Dave, did you start playing the same time as we are? Because you have battered on with this.
But you have battered on.
I have.
Like, I've had to come off like my Xbox game to focus completely on the PS4 game because you just like zoom.
Like if you're in third gear, I'm in fifth, and he's in about 15th. I'm going fast now.
I don't know. He's certainly knowledgeable and super far into it.
There was we did keep chatting a little bit actually. And there was something else he brought up. I'd just like to relate. We were talking about what frames we've been using and what we've been building, and he went on to reply to that sort of thing. That it's nicer to build the frames than buy them outright. I've come to find. I did buy Octavia, Sarin, and Mirage though to start out. What feels like ages ago. Got more satisfaction from building Neza, Nyx, and Valkyr.
It is ace building frames though. I mean, even like I think tomorrow. I know that when I get back from work, I'll have, because Mag finished for me today, and then I've got Valkyr, Frost, and Oberon, which will have finished tomorrow. And there is something sort of quite like being a kid on the cusp of Christmas when you're waiting for a frame. It's special. It's really special.
I've got my Nova cooking right now, and I can't wait. I think it finishes tomorrow. I'm very, very much... I saw a Nova when we were doing a defense mission a while ago that was just firing off this green shit that was making everything explode. Yes.
Yeah, there was a really nice Nova helmet like earlier on today as well.
Yeah, so I've the reason that kind of comment started is because we were talking about buying frames as opposed to building them, and I've kind of settled on, unless something like, unless it turns out there's a set of missions I just can't do, say an Archwing set that are just going to be a pain in the bollocks. Like, I'd like to spend my plat ideally on slots to put the Warframes and, like, what's the word? Cosmetics.
Yeah.
Like, I want to build them. I want them to be. They feel more like they're mine. Like, okay, here's the metaphor, right? So you buy Lego, right? And the Lego comes in a box, and you build it, and then you built that. That's your Lego. But sometimes, if you buy it at like a car boot sale or you buy it off eBay, it arrives and it's all built up. It's like, no, that's not my Lego yet. I have to break it to pieces and build it myself, and then that's mine. And I sound like I'm 7, but no, but it's important. It's taking ownership. Like, I've built that. That's mine.
But even DE have said, like, on streams and stuff, don't buy Warframes. Like, and I think the unspoken thing is that, buy skins or buy palettes or whatever you want to do. But the fact that you can completely play this game without spending a penny if you want to is there. Yes, you've got like a certain amount of Warframe slots, and you'll have to, if you build one, you'll have to delete one unless you're buying an extra slot. But the extra slot is like 20 plat,
which isn't much.
And when you start the game, and this is an important thing that nobody's really told when they start the game, just you're given some plat anyway with the PlayStation pack, and I think you've got some ordinarily anyway. Just
yeah. I think you can get about 270 plat all in for free, which is that can go away. That can go a lot. I mean, I spent most of mine on a goddamn cape at the start. It's like, oh, a cape done. Before realizing how much platinum was actually worth, you're like, crap, that was £4 that cape. Oops.
You did buy an £8 shield and axe, though.
True.
Yeah, that was me.
Well done, you.
Yeah, thanks. I don't regret. I do. Actually, it wasn't. Yeah, it was about £8. Never mind. Let's boing on. Smeggy Fox 470 said, I'm chuffed I'm making actual progress in Warframe. Made weapons and I'm making a frame. Co-op is brilliant, whether with vets or with noobs like me. It's definitely turned into something special, and Plains of Eidolon is still to come.
And that touches an interesting point, because I think you can tell when you're playing, like if you're playing with someone who's had the game forever versus someone who's kind of still leveling up. Because when you play with someone who's new, or like, playing the game what I consider properly, shall we say, you run around together and you're attacking the odd enemy and you're shooting and you're firing off the odd power here and there and you're kind of sticking together and standing each other up when you fall over. That's cool. When you're playing with someone who's clearly a little bit stronger and just doing the missions for like components or something, what you'll see a blur disappear. And then
whilst you're in a locker.
Yeah, and it'll be an excavation mission or like extermination mission. You'll see a blur disappear. And you'll just see the number of enemies killed just start going up and going up. And going up, and then the mission's done, and then you've got to get to the checkpoint, but you don't make it because you're not fast enough. You can't even keep up with them, and they're running and killing.
When they're all waiting at the checkpoint, and it gives you 50 seconds to go into as many lockers as possible. That's what he does, or to at least hit something so it doesn't look shameful.
I did a melee kill, woo!
Let me see. We had a series of messages from the lovely Rob Sweeney, who said, Ash is my boy, loving this frame and all his ninja glory. His abilities are me. Throwing a shuriken, going invisible, teleporting to an enemy that staggers them, and you can get a finisher. And also Blade Storm. You can clear out a room like Nightcrawler, teleporting on people's heads and just brutally stabbing them in the face.
What?
I love it. Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, neither did I.
I'm just going to write down that for Ash.
Well, that's the one that Jake's playing as well.
I've just written that down on my list of things to remember.
Nightcrawler head stabbing.
Nightcrawler bamf stab. Brilliant.
Michael Prain says, I haven't had much time to play the game lately, but when I do, I'm usually bringing new players on board, answering questions, etc. Making sure all my friends have what they need for their next project. When I'm not doing that, I'm setting up new stuff in the clan. In the very late game where I am, helping others is the best thing I can do. It gives these old frames something to fight for.
Aww. That's cool.
Oh, we had more from Jake Lionheart. He sent a DM. Hello, fellow space shinobi. So let's talk Octavia. First, I have to give a million thank yous to the Patches for gifting her to me. I haven't had much time to play as Octavia, but I've been playing with the Mandicord like crazy in the free time I do have. The Mandicord is actually really brilliant. It feels like it can be so simple to grasp, like music games of old, like Mario Paint and MTV's music generator on PS1, and can be as complex as using music software like FL Studio or Ableton. You are locked in at a certain BPM, but with the 4 bars you are given, you can manipulate the rhythm to sound as fast or as slow as you want. You get a preset of sounds, drum, bass and melody packs, but can unlock more for 50 platinum. As far as using music in the game, I will have to wait and write into the next Tenno, the Humanities episode. But in the little time I have used the game has left me with a huge smile. Also, her idle animation is the most adorable thing ever.
There's some good ones, and here's something, actually, I'll bring up about animations while we're here. Do you know you can apply animation sets to your frames? In your appearance section, there's a button, basically. You can have it as the standard, where you just stand there. And each frame has 2 sets of, like, idle stats. So, for example, Atlas has... You usually have a noble and an agile. Each one has a noble and agile. So, for example, his noble one is he stands up quite straight, but with his fists kind of held forwards, like he's about to punch somebody. Like Queensberry Rules style, which is cool. And then he's got an agile one where he's kind of all crouched over, like he's ready to sort of, pounce on someone. And everyone's got one of those. And both of Octavia's, she's dancing.
Yeah, that's somebody's got like that little cartoon gif that's there.
She's bloody dancing, and it's amazing.
So the important addendum there was, I think we sort of gave the tip of the hat that Octavia was gifted by Sentinel Plus to Jake earlier, but it was
from the patches. Yes.
So but super kind that, because I presume that the patches knew that Jake would really enjoy it as well. So that's proper community that's around this game. I love it.
Well, the patches, if we'll skip because I've got the thing open as well. The patches also replied about what we're doing. Thanks to the patches. Patches is doing endgame stuff. Sorties, farming Ivara and Nidus, and looking for corrupted mods. That's where I saw that earlier. Corrupted mods. What's a corrupted mod?
We will find out.
Like my corrupted dog.
I don't think anything will come close to that.
Yeah.
Although I did see somebody running about in game the other day that had called theirs fake taxi.
Nice.
Which I thought was really cool. Space Ninja Badger 7 said, my favourite moment so far has been randomly doing a public mission and find out Sentinel Plus was on my team. It's a random mission and finding he was on it. It was fate, not destiny, brackets 2.
That's clever.
Yeah. Yeah, really good that.
Yeah. I like that when that happens, when you meet up and you recognise a username, like, I know you.
So we had the real Blake Probst said, I downloaded and put about 5 hours in and really liked it, but with all these other games and kids, I don't really have time for a game of this magnitude. Same reason I skipped Destiny 2. To that, I'd just say it's a great game to just jump in, like monkey about and shoot things with bows into walls across the other side. You don't really have to bother with like the stuff on the outside. If you get a chance to jump in, have a boing about and just have fun.
And this is what I think, like, it's not the sort of game you've got to, like, this is a 90-hour RPG. Hope you've got 90 hours. Like, you can just
here's
hop
a
in.
chatty story bit.
Yeah, here's some fun. Have half an hour. If you want to have some more fun, here's another half an hour. Do as many as you want, and then move on. Like, you get rewarded for coming back each day, admittedly, which is very, very tempting. Like, I end up checking my daily bonus and staying on for like 2 hours every fucking day. But yeah, like it's low commitment.
Yeah, it's as committed as you want to be.
Yeah, and some of the weapons are time based anyway, so you've got to kind of bugger off and leave it to itself anyway.
Well, I've found, like I say, that when work's been sort of a bit of a swine, it's nice to just kind of, I find it easy to relax into, even if I'm only playing like a couple of games, then having dinner and having to go to bed because I'm early again, or as to whether I get home in the afternoon from work and get more time to think into it. I don't know. I find it sates a part of me that allows me to both be entertained and switch off from the other stuff, and that's really valid for me at the minute, especially. We had 99 dexterity. Lovely man.
Yours.
who said, "I'm relatively new to the game, but I've had a blast doing co-op with Sentinel Plus, Micah Pren, and Coffee Jesus."
Those are you people.
I know. We did a few runs on the boss to get the Valkyr stuff.
Mm-hmm. The dog one, isn't it?
Yeah, I didn't realise that was the one that because John said afterwards that he'd had trouble with it, and thanks. And I was like, I was running that anyway. So we seem to sort of sync up together on that perfectly. But it's weird on that because I've been thinking about that level a lot, because basically that Sambuca, the sort of creature that he created from many Tenno that he wants to absorb you into, is Valkyr.
Yeah, I heard that, or like a bastardized version of Valkyr. Anyway, like that's
so
what it was
you
based
built
on. Yeah,
Valkyr
I was
from that.
Reading that out as well. It's kind of interesting lore.
Yeah, so it's
lore.
I know there's these little bits of lore that are sort of tickling on the edge of it, and I'm getting more and more fascinated by it, because it feels like, you know, when you're on a mission and there's this kind of 4 of you in there and you're just battering the hell out the enemies, you just feel like the Avengers. It feels like I've got like a superhero with my rhino at the minute, like a Thor-like character. He's fab.
It raises an interesting point as well with, like, I mean, you've played with a few people. I literally have only played this with you. Like, I know other people have been online, and I keep meaning to, like, I'll hop on with that person, and then life finds a way. I've been trying to hook up with Brad Galloway. And what will happen is I'll wait, and then eventually give up and think I'm going to go to bed now. And Brad will appear online as I leave. Every time. So if you could just like move from America to here, so our time schedules line up, that would be good. In fact, all of you from America, if you could all just move to England, or at least GMT zone, then we could play together. That would be acceptable to me.
Well, it was nice. It was nice with John, because we were. It wasn't even like a mics on thing. It was just like a sort of typing in the in-game chat and just sort of rerunning the mission. But
pointy and shooty.
Well, hopefully, because I'm sure in the picture of Valkyr, she's got the Venka claws. Ooh. So that might sync up nicely. I think I haven't got enough plastids to get those Venka claws, but if that could be my weapon to use to get used to, because I like to start off a weapon with a Warframe, like a brand new weapon, just so everything's like super fresh and stuff. Plus, my friend Noor that I used to play Destiny and The Division with, downloaded it yesterday. And she loves it so far. But I completely guessed which Warframe she was going to go for, and the exact choices of the weapons as well, which makes me both the best friend and a bit weird.
Yeah, that's too much.
So at Kisses Fingers on Twitter, the fantastic and glorious, powerful Robin says, "Scratch built my own Warframe, dropped cash on another, managed to get to Neptune, and even hatched a Kubro. Life is good." Like Robin was saying, like in a chat we had earlier on in the week, where the game's pretty much like under his fingernails. That he's kind of. But I wondered, because Robin was very, very good at Monster Hunter and super, super knowledgeable at it, I wondered if it might sort of scratch a similar sort of itch there. But so I'm really chuffed that he's into it. It's the thing that surprises me is there's a resistance from resistance isn't the word, but like there's lots of people that I know that we've spoken to that love Dark Souls. Even a lot of people that play Destiny from there. Yeah, funnily enough, a lot of people that play Destiny thereafter that I just think would be like a shoo-in for this sort of stuff. Like Sean Bell, I think, would like absolutely adore it. But you know, they've not gone near it, and I hope that they discover it. I know Chris Span was saying that he's heard a few bits about sort of trying it and stuff, and I think the game is on the cusp of being discovered by a lot of people, and I think they'll find
with Eidolon being so close as well. Like this is the best time to be hopping on, because like it's kind of all change in a way. It's a big, bold, huge step for it, and it's going to be a really good point for everyone to start jumping on, I think, and to see just how much fun everyone's having with it.
Plus, this conversation is the same sort of thing that we were getting out of Souls, and that's part of the fun, that we're all trying to figure it out, because it is this sort of wonderfully obtuse enigma with kind of Platinum Games does Destiny at the centre of it, which is great. Pete Lawson's just said, "I've returned from a few days away to find that my dog creature has died. I am too sad to say anything else."
No. Let's just pour one out for a second. Pour one out. Sorry about your dog, Pete.
That's Pete. Come here, mate. Come here.
Come on, bring it in. Come for a hug.
Can you imagine that, Pad? Remember, if you're going away or doing something else...
I got the app. You can feed the dog on the app. I've already got the...
right, then.
Yeah, it's like, when you set up a camera to watch your dogs when you're away.
I was trying to say a sensitive message, then you were like, I've got the app.
I've got an app. You can just feed your dog on the app.
So...
but I'm also sorry for your loss, Pete. To get the app, it's pretty good.
You're a bad friend.
I'm a colossal, terrible man. I'm sorry.
So, let me see. There was... I'm having to jump back into my own stuff. Brad Galloway has now got a rhino, which it looks as from the same sort of disgusting action figure as yours, where it's green, but it's got like meaty kind of body underneath the green, and it looks like you co-op. But also, he could, if he swaps that, he's got a Boltor there, which is a good choice, but. Get yourself a melee weapon.
I mean, that is the frame choice. Rhino and Boltor is 2/3 of my choices, so...
Just needs a... Oh, hold on, he's got Sindo Prime, which is the axe that comes with the Amazon Prime stuff. So
chuck the big gal on there. Get yourself a gal.
No.
Big gal.
No. Doesn't have to copy you. If you've got the gal, and I've got the Ack and Brunt, if he's running the Sindo Prime...
That's true.
That's 3 rhinos all doing frame souls and with different weapons. That to me sounds like co-op fun.
We need one more rhino, don't we?
We do. Who's the next person to complete this the quadruple frame souls riot with us?
To stomp our way through the world.
Chris Worthington, El Wortho, says, just ran a defense mission. Squad left me alone. I died. I had blueprints for Harrow and everything. I got a relic bonus. For the first 5 waves, died on level 9 when I ran out of ammo. Turned the game off after that. Which is like...
That's kind of an interesting point as well, because like I've definitely seen differences with like teams you go on. Sometimes you'll go on with a team and they'll be very kind of team focused and they'll be getting each other up as you fall down. Because, you can jump onto a mission sometimes and be completely out of your depth. Like, I've done that before. I thought, I'll be fine. And think, you start your mission and think, oh, shit, I've got my new weapon on. Oh, crap. Oh, I've screwed this up. I'm going to be, like, screwed. And sometimes the team can carry you. But, God, if someone falls down, guys, come on, get them up. Stand them back up. You can get resurrected even if you fall down.
We had an important thing a few days ago, which I still haven't quite gotten near, because I looked at it and I was like, it's quite late at night, but this is really incredible. Regarding affinity.
Right.
So, I don't know if you saw this. Apparently, each frame stroke companion stroke weapon, the first time you get them to 30, you get MR for it. MR.
Mastery rank. Affinity.
Well played.
Yeah.
Also for clearing sectors on the map. So Brad then says, does the game ever say that? I figured it was affinity that ranked up. And if not, then what the fuck does affinity do? This game, guys. Then the Law Hunter.
Right. See the woo. Nice to see you.
Says affinity ranks up your equipment and companion. You can even game how fast you rank up weapons by only equipping the weapon you're working on ranking up. Did a little wiki dive to understand this. I'm pretty positive the game doesn't say this anywhere, and then puts a link to it. Worth a read. Like most things in Warframe, it has much more nuance than it lets on initially. So there's a massive wiki about affinity in Warframe.
Naughty.
Yeah.
Ooh,
so
spice.
Yeah, I like that. But yeah, it's just crazy how we're all having this much fun and all talking to each other, and it's just really energizing. And I'm I'm double happy playing the game anyway. It's a sort of, us two co-oping and stuff, but these conversations are just, it's amazing to see people having this amount of fun around us and in spite of us and alongside us, and it's just, I don't know, I feel really happy about games at the minute, but the fact that this game can't get a bit of press, but slowly the word of mouth is bringing more and more people in, and more of our friends are starting to play it. I know tomorrow afternoon I'm going to do some like co-op with Noor and see if I can explain a few bits and sort of show her around the ship and mod cards and that kind of stuff. And it's just a really great game, but I still wouldn't say I've got it figured out, but there's a real pleasure amongst the sheer passion and enthusiasm of the people that we're talking to and Digital Extremes, and it makes me happy. And whereas on the cusp of everything is people complaining about AAA stuff and loot boxes, and it just feels like there's this sort of amazing corner of the universe where we've got sort of friends and ambition and quirks and secrets, and it makes me happy.
They like their player base, don't they? They want them to be happy. Here's a tip, game developer people. Don't give me a box that says, "Oh, random thing. It's only £1. Could be anything. Could be anything." It's probably that thing you've already got. Could be anything though. Might be something crap, but it could be a good thing. It's probably a bad thing. Like Warframe has never. I mean, you've got your relics, which give you random bonuses, but you always know roughly what's going to be in those. You always see the odds essentially, and you never. Anything you buy with Platinum, you're buying it. You're not buying the chance to get a thing. You're not buying, I'm going to buy 10 loot boxes. Or I'm going to buy 10 packs of. I'm going to buy 10 packs of FIFA Ultimate Team cards. I don't understand that. I get that it's an interesting twist on the kind of collectible card game, Magic the Gathering type thing, but with football men. I
think the thing is,
just let me buy Alan Shearer. Don't make me go through 100 packs to maybe find Alan Shearer. Just let me buy Alan Shearer.
I think the thing is with the loot boxes in Warframe, A, you get one free every day, and B, so they come in 3 forms. All right then. All right, and discount. Yeah. And the ironically, it's the discount one which normally makes you go, right, let's change stuff up a bit.
This is it. They actually give you a loot box.
But you know what you're getting.
But they give you a loot box that encourages you to actually spend money.
But if I've got 50% off something, and if you do get that discount, it's only one item that you can buy for that discount. But if I'm saving money on Platinum, buying something that I want, which then furthers my enthusiasm and the way that I look at the game, the way that I play the game, when that discount comes up again, or if I fancy something else, or whatever happens, I'm still spending that Platinum.
Yeah, totally.
Because I'm going to get something else for a new Warframe that I've got, and they're still chucking free stuff at us with hats and drops and farming bosses and stuff.
Do you know what the most important thing I'm looking at right now is with my Platinum? Because I've got a 25% off coupon right now, which isn't the best kind, but it's all right. The colour purple.
Okay.
Because on the fucking the colour palettes you can get, I've got no purples. I've got reds and oranges and greens and blacks, but I've got no purples because Laura was helping me colour in a Warframe last night. She helped me colour in Atlas in a lovely pastel set. It looks like a tub of Refresher mints. It's like, you got any purple? I'm like, no.
Can you not? What's the thing in the clan dojo about researching colours?
That's, I think, for your... I think that's for the actual dojo itself.
Oh, okay.
So you can make the dojo all orange and purple and blue and whatever. But those are 3 colours that exist. But yeah, though, I'm legitimately looking at this thinking, what can I spend this Platinum that I've, spent money on to get? The ability to make things purple. Yep. That's the most important thing I can spend my money on. But that's really tells to how much they give you or how much they could potentially offer you for free. It's like I don't need to buy.
You can get so much joy out of a colour palette. It's daft. And again, there's other games that are giving you shaders for individual stuff, and you can't complete proper sets without buying them, and even if you buy them, they come in sets of 3, but automat. But to colour a set, you'll need like a set of 4, or as I understand it, like
loot boxes really ruined Dark Souls 3, didn't they?
You're given like a huge amount of colours that you can use, like across the board. Spend discount on those; it'll change things. Or, you know, I've seen really good skins for Warframes that are like 40 plat, and you know, if I was getting those for like, I was getting those for like 10 platinum the other day because of that discount and stuff, and just spend your money when the discount comes. I think DA, you're quite happy that you're spending that money anyway.
Can you play that? Can you say that back to the tune of "Pass the Duchy" on the left hand side?
No, because I can't even remember what I said.
Spend your money when the discount comes. That's how you said it. It's how I heard it.
Yourself.
I'm sorry.
And on that bombshell.
It's been a long day.
Yeah,
it's been a long day.
It's time for me to go to bed.
Go to.
Thank you very much for listening. Thanks for sharing stuff with us. Thanks for playing alongside us and with us. And it's been great to finally sort of do this and have a chat. But it's been fantastic, sort of catching up with the adventures in the meantime and finding out how far people have come. So I hope you've enjoyed the episode. We are going to do more of these because we're hooked. And let us know if you've enjoyed the app and how you're getting on, and keep chatting with us because you're lovely.
If you have a Warframe question for us, please ask it and we will do our best to answer it to the best of our ability.
Yeah, we will do our best to ask Michael Prain.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because we'll go, I don't know.
Wait, just pause the recording. I'll open the Prain box, I'll ask him.
Right. So, thank you again.
Yeah.
I was trying to close things off then, and you were just like, well,
Michael Prain in a box.
Yeah.
No, do you know what? One last thank you. Thank you to you for talking for 2 hours with me. This was fun.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it. It's been long overdue, and we'll hopefully it's not going to be too long until we get to jump about in planes of Eidolon. So that's going to be kind of cool.
I can't wait.
Yeah. Cheer, bye, folks.
Bye, everyone.